Hey, what's going on, guys? Xbox All in channel, host Sega Forever here. Sorry, I got a couple things going on right now. But I wanted to do this video because I'm pretty sure you guys have seen the video that came out from Destin um, who is purportedly the a pro Xbox channel. It's funny because I'm looking on YouTube right now, and he's actually doing a live talk, and it looks like he has people that are on there. I don't know anything about that. In fact, I was kind of debating whether to do this or not because I didn't know if any of the other brothers were gonna do a video talking about it. You don't want to step on anybody's toes, but um, I saw the video. I saw his original video yesterday, and it was I had to watch it. Right, um, like I say on this channel, we do talk about Xbox stuff predominantly and gaming things as well. I'm not subscribed to just Destin. I really don't watch his videos. In fact, a lot of people's videos I do not watch. I've said that numerous times on my channel. Either I don't watch them or I don't. Hey, Unlimited. What's up, brother? Yeah, so a lot of these guys I do not watch. As you see, Unlimited Productions is in the show. What's up, bro? Um, I follow people like Unlimited. I follow people like Hebot. I used to follow E-Rock until they canned his channel, which was probably a pony that did that to him. Over some BS content that he had on his channel, which wasn't even offensive, and he got knocked out. Because that's what ponies do. They can't debate. They can't handle the truth, right? They do their little sneaky stuff to get around. Trying to defend or share their ideas. And yeah, but these are the guys I follow: Sega Man, Tuck, um, 100. The numerous people. I'm sorry if I know I'm forgetting a bunch of people because there's a core of Xbox people that I follow because they actually have Xboxes and they actually play Xbox and they actually like their Xbox and in fact they like gaming, right? So this is why I follow them. Hey, what's up, Unlimited? Destin pretty much did a video yesterday talking about the Xbox tax and gave his opinion on it, which was very wrong. You know, in fact, I would recommend you guys watching his video because as he's talking about it on his channel, um, Destin is everything that's wrong with the gaming media. And the fact that some of the points that he was trying to make just defends the fact that there's an Xbox tax. If you listen to that video, like I said, I don't normally watch his stuff because I just don't like his takes. Right, and it drives me nuts to sit there and listen to him. I did a video or podcast last week where Unlimited and Daya, especially Daya, was awesome on there. A lot of people came in and gave their opinions on some of the stuff we're talking, but predominantly about the Xbox tax and why it's real, and why it's bad and how it damages the Xbox brand. Unlimited, do you want to jump in? I know you didn't see the video, but you can jump in and give commentary. We're gonna go over the stuff that because Destin basically brought up the 2013 launch of the Xbox One and his opinion on it, right? And back then he was part of the problem. Of course, if I had the ability to do so, I'd show you Destin's little 980p versus 1080p, right? It was crap like that the media was doing, and then they were trying to make it like, oh, this is all harmless fun, but it's like a snowball effect, right? You have the media doing this kind of stuff. You have people that actually absolutely just hate Xbox. Then you have people that hate Microsoft. I know this for a fact because I work with IT people. They just don't like. Um, oh, you playing RoboCop? Yeah. Okay. Okay. Yeah, dude. Man, dude, there's so many games on sale, dude. If you guys haven't been paying attention to the Black Friday stuff going on right now, especially on Xbox, and I'm not just talking about video games, man. I bought a bunch of movies for the Black Friday sale, which will be going on. Most of these sales will be going on to December the 1st or December the 8th. But go and check it out because you have to see which date that is, or you're gonna miss out. Like if you guys are a big fan of martial arts films, like I am, right? They have the entire Hitman series. Four was a little bit like it was okay. I still loved it, man, because I love Donnie Yen. Donnie Yen, I'm a huge fan of Donnie Yen and his style. And man, it blows my mind that he's getting older, right? But still a classic series. But stuff like that, I think you can get the whole four, and I think it's in HD. But the whole series, the four movies for like $9.99 or something like that. And there's a bunch of stuff on there. I personally been busy with my family. This Thanksgiving, the way we do it here, man, is I go to my dad's house, and then I was gonna go back today. They made so much food, and you hang out with all your family because not everybody can come on Thanksgiving because everybody has their own families and everybody goes to other family stuff. So basically, it's like the entire week. Kick off on Wednesday. You get mom and got everything prepped, and Thursday at Thanksgiving, and Friday was over there just eating leftovers, and then whatever else they make, and then people are coming in and out. And it's good times, man. I spend a lot of time with my family. I can't do it today because my kids, man, for some reason, they have all this stuff going on in the Thanksgiving holidays, and I'm like, oh, okay, that's, it is what it is. I'll send you the link, unlimited. Hey, what's up, Anthony? Yeah, dude, I don't know if you saw it, Anthony, man, but it's cheers, brother, cheers. Yeah, it's Destin Liguri, um, putting his foot in his mouth as he always does. Hold on one second. Let me bear with me, guys. Like, I'm kind of doing this on the fly. I wanted to kind of do this now because I gotta run my kids around. We got some stuff to do today, and so yeah, I was hoping nobody was doing something because I didn't want to step on anybody's toes. Paste, and yep, I sent it, brother. If any of the other people come in and they want to join the show, that's great too. What I'm going to be doing though is probably do it for like an hour or two. Because like I said, my son's got all his music lessons today. It's crazy. It's been crazy here, dude. Black Friday was nuts, dude. I didn't even go near any stores. I could tell because I live on one part of the island. My dad lives on the other side, so I got to drive to that side of the island. When I was driving, man, there was like lines of cars just sitting on the freeways and on all the major exits that were leading to the malls in those areas. And I was like, yeah, I'm not even touching that, dude. Because for me, Black Friday, man, I just do all my stuff online, and it's just not worth waiting in line and dealing with people just to save a few bucks. The best thing you can do. This is the best advice I've been giving people over the years when it comes to Black Friday. I didn't do a video this year, but it's just during the year, what you should do is to save up as much money as possible. Or if there's something that you want but you don't necessarily need, just wait, dude. Just wait till Black Friday. Because the way these businesses are now, they're competing with each other, especially online. Dude, you'll pick up deals. Yeah. And you can pick up deals on stuff that you don't have to just. It's not just about the big screen TV, electronic, laptop, unless you need it, man. I mean, there's all necessities that you need to. I think one of the funniest memes I've seen was somebody said, "Oh, keep the big screen TVs, but put the Black Friday sale should be like on groceries." So I thought that was funny. But Unlimited, I sent you the link if you want to jump in. Anthony, thanks for being here. We'll continue on with this faux drama uh, with these guys trying to defend there not being any Xbox tax. And look, to Destin's look, Destin is, yeah, bro. Take your time, man. I'm not rushing. Um, Look, and Destin tries to be like I don't know. I guess he considers himself like an Xbox dude, which is bewildering to me. But just going back to like when he did that, dude, and back in so like I said, in 2013, right? He was part of the problem, man. And then he did that meme because the big thing back then was the 980 nine. What do we have? 990? No, 980p versus 1080p, right? And with Microsoft and the way they've always been, especially for the last two console cycles, man, is they build the systems for the developers. So they meet with these guys, they talk to them, and see what's most important to them. Right. This is why they have such a good relationship with Bethesda and Todd Howard and stuff like that. Right. So all the stuff that you see Microsoft doing now with their console and with their services and stuff like that, they've been doing that for over a decade. Right. Now I would even say that since the inception of the original Xbox. If you guys have not watched, if you guys want to know the truth about stuff, go watch the Xbox documentary. Right. Go back and watch that one. I mean, it's a great watch. For anybody who likes watching documentaries, probably one of the best documentaries. And I'm not just saying that because it's Xbox. Because I also watch a lot of documentaries. Like, for example, they're doing stuff on Netflix. Some of those documentaries, man, they need to work on them. They in either the editing or they lose grip of the focus as they're trying to with any documentary, right? They're trying to make a point or trying to say something. And for some reason, with Netflix's documentaries, they feel discombobulated to me. to be honest. But Xbox is one of those documentaries. The person who did it, you can tell he actually got down to the nitty gritty of the Xbox and the history of the Xbox, which would be great if Destin would watch that, right? Because they maybe get a better understanding of what was actually going on in 2013. I even commented on his channel. The thing that amazes me the most and why he's part of the problem is he's just oblivious to it. And it just blows my mind that this guy is in the media and he doesn't see himself what's going on, what the rest of us see. And for me, it's not. Look, I said in my discussion last week, dude, I don't care that none of Microsoft's games have been nominated for the video game awards because I don't watch the video game awards, right? And like I said last week, and I really honestly mean this, dude, video awards shows of any kind mean nothing to me, right? The only ones that I'll give some credential to is is like industry type award shows, which is actually voted on by whatever genre or whatever industry you're in, right? If it's something that's done with by people within your industry, your fellow peers, right? It's just like if you ever got selected by jury duty, right? So you have people within the industry that work in the industry that understand how the industry works and what you struggle and what you go to. I'm not saying there's not politics there. I'm not saying that people don't have a bone to pick with each other. I'm pretty sure there is a lot of that. There is some of that stuff going on. But within that industry, when you have professionals, right, they'll understand how the industry works. You know? So that's the only award show that I would give any type of credentials to. But on the flip side of that too, I would never watch it because I'm not an industry person. Right? When they get down, unless really want to see and get down to the nitty gritty and stuff like that, but you don't have to do that for the award shows, and that's not what they're made for. It's for those guys to celebrate because they work so hard. So in that sense, when you see some of the like, I'll like um, the teams celebrating it, like Microsoft's teams celebrating the nominations and stuff like that. Yeah, sure, that's good, man. You guys work hard, and we know you work hard. You know how we know we play your games, right? Like when you sit there and you listen to some of these people and their bad takes, like Destin's, right? It really makes you question, because these guys are gaming media. It's like, dude, do you actually play these games? I know I do all the time, right? But that's the biggest problem with it. So that's what he brought up. He went back to Xbox launch 2013 and saying how bad it was, and then he brings up Don Matrick, who was right, by the way, right? Because what Destin fails to tell you guys in that interview, right? Don Matrick was trying to be cordial about what was going on with the Xbox One and the whole thing, this false narrative that came up because people want to be able to play their games. What happens if you lost your internet connection and you can't play your games, right? Always online. That was the big thing, right? I forget the name of it, DMR or whatever. Crap, I'm trying to blank. But anyways, all of this stuff about not being able to get access to your game because your console is always online. Right? So what blows my mind is people like this in the industry. It was other people that was saying this, other gamers. And some of these guys aren't like gamers, right? They just maybe they play Madden or COD, and they would hear stuff like this. And I remember back then they were saying stuff like, "Well, don't you guys have a phone? Right? Aren't you guys on your computer? We're always connected, right?" And then of course more so now, everybody's more cognizant of that, right? Especially with all the stuff that's gone on this last couple of years. But it's always been, that was just the way it was going to be. It was then, but it was like that back then, and it's even like that so much so now, and that's just because everybody is a little bit more cognizant and plugged in, and they realize it. But this was going on in 2013. So what Don Matrick was trying to tell these guys was like, look, and these guys were just going after him. The guys in the media, don't worry about anything else that anybody else in the media or in the gaming industry does. They never come that hard on PlayStation, and they never come that hard on Nintendo, right? And they was just hammering this dude to the point where he got frustrated. Matrick got frustrated, and he said, "Well, if you have a 360, play that," which he's right. He's 100% right. You know why? Because I do that. Right? When my system goes down, I go play something else, dude. You guys know I'm a Marvel fan on this page, man. Phases 1 through 3, awesome. 4, 5 sucks, right? And then I do my rants. I talk a little bit about it as a fan because I want them to do better. But there's a point in time when you're like, okay, well, I'm good, right? And then you just go do something else. So I've gravitated to other stuff. Game Pass, that sucks up my time. I watch anime, watch K-dramas, right? Do stuff with my kids. This is Thanksgiving. Spent a lot of time with my family. Star Wars and Marvel and Disney and what they're doing over there is the last thing on my mind right now. Do I hope to get better? Yes, because I'm a fan. Do I want them to improve? Yes. Do I want them to realize the error of their ways? Yeah, definitely. But that's just not the reality of it. So what are you gonna do, right? And then getting back to Destin and what he was saying, that it just blows my mind that these guys are supposed to be the media, and they're the insiders, quote unquote, and they don't get that. Google poll. Hey, what's up, Google? Yeah, Destin can't sell cookies. Yeah, he's on his channel plugging his cookies, right? Dude, I hardly watch his stuff, and I knew that because I was like on one channel. He says that, and he always asks people to subscribe. And I think he hit 100,000 subscribers, right? But most of the time, I get the stuff from Destin is on Twitter from other guys, right? And that's why I appreciate Twitter, man, because I don't have to watch this stuff. It's like with the Game Awards, dude, I'm not gonna watch that. I don't have to watch it. You can just wait till the clips release. If Xbox participates, like they're supposed to have news there, right? Xbox will drop it on their channel, as they always do. So there's no point in me watching the show, especially since it's to me it's just boring, right? And then I played another thing too. This is why I personally don't do Game of the Year stuff. I don't play every single game. So the games that they're nominated, I don't even know if they're good or not. Though I will agree that Resident Evil thing that's bogus, because I played that game way back in the day, and I know that they upgraded it and stuff like that. But unless they pull a Lord of the Rings, man, where you have that extended edition, right? And I bought that extended edition because I'm like, dude, this is like almost an entirely different movie. All the content they have in there. Can Resident Evil stay the same? I don't know. I didn't play it, the new one. The fact that like Unlimited then was saying, dude, I was shocked that Hogwarts wasn't nominated. And I agree with them 100%. I knew why. After I heard it wasn't, I was like, well, it's probably because of what happened with the creator of Harry Potter. Right? She's a feminist, right? But she's like an old school feminist. So there's people in our current culture right now that don't like that, right? Because growing up, when I grew up, I'm old, man. When I grew up, feminists were like they were for women's rights and power and stuff like that. Right? So, but they were women, right? They at least the feminists I knew, they believed in their feminism, and I mean feminine, like women, not just the women power, but like that they were women that made them unique. They celebrated their uniqueness and their differences from men. And if you're a feminist now and you do that, then you're a part of the problem. So that's why J.K. Rowling, sorry. So that's why she's not nominated. And I'm not saying that the award show agrees with those people. You just don't want to deal with it because there's a lot of controversy that's going to come up because they tried to shut that game down. But these guys who are activists and stuff like that found out really quick and in a hurry that most people don't care. And you have a storied franchise that people grew up. I know my daughter used to read these books back in the day. I don't know anything about the Harry Potter stuff. And she started talking this weird language. I couldn't understand it because when I watched Star Trek, everybody used to pretend they could speak Klingon. Right, I get it. I'm a nerd. I understand how it goes, right? So, face screen smile. Yeah, bro. He's always been. Yeah. But like I was saying earlier, brother, like we all know this, man, but like he does it. Like, in fact, he was saying that on his video, how he's a pro Xbox channel. I was like, bro, if you're with friends like you, man, we don't need enemies. Because the real bad thing about Destin is he gets it wrong a lot, right? Like he brought up the whole, like what he used for the defense of the Xbox tax is the whole thing with what's that guy's name? With Phil Spencer, right? He was saying like, look at Phil Spencer, even back in 2022. Phil Spencer was saying it was a horrible year. Well, okay, so you said it that way, right? But let's, as a journalist, right, or whatever he pretends to be, let's add some context to it. There's a little thing called the pandemic, right? And this is not just the gaming industry; it's across the board. It hit every single industry. In fact, a lot of you guys are still feeling it now when you guys go to the grocery store and buy something, or when you want to buy something and it's not available, right? Because all the supply chains got disrupted. I can speak on that personally because I was looking at other additional income, whether passive or not, to try and make a side income, right? And one of the things I was going to do was I was going to get a loan from the VA, and then try and look at stuff in manufacturing things, right? Because there was a break, right? And this is the one kind of thing I like about this country, right? It's just that when times like this arise, right? What people tend to do is they look within and then they say, okay, well, I can do this, or I can create it. It's very entrepreneurial, right? This is what makes America what it is, right? But the interesting thing I found out when I was looking into manufacturing and stuff like that, it doesn't matter if you build the stuff here, the stuff comes from other places. Just the way the supply chain is made, we're so tied into places like China, it's not even funny, right? And that's a real problem. So in that sense, right, when you talk about when he was talking, trying to use the pandemic, or when he was trying to use what Phil Spencer was saying, dude, there was people working from home, right? I know I was one of them, right? There was a lot of stuff that happened during that time that killed the process. And even he mentioned, like, oh, like even because Phil Spencer said this, we were on a roll and things were getting better and stuff like that, and all of a sudden, we had a dry 2022. Right? Now Phil won't say specifically. I'll say it. I'll say it specifically, right? It was the pandemic, right? Because you don't want to get into that political thing. I don't care. I'll say it. You guys listen to my channel. You know how it is here. Right? I'll just be straight up 100% honest with you guys. But nobody else, right, in this industry gets that blowback. Only Microsoft. Only Microsoft, dude. This is why these guys were caught off guard with Sony, because Sony has nothing. They haven't had anything. They really don't have anything. What Sony likes to do is, right, they release their one or two games every couple years, right? They'll hype it up, right? I know this, man. I was a big Sony show back in the day when it came to electronics, right? This is the way. This is their business. Modus operandi, right? This is what they do, right? They just give you stuff to hold you over. And they was doing the third party deals, which we found out about, which we all knew. Right? I didn't need the AKB deal to tell me that, right? And then the reason why they got so much shock and awe now is because Microsoft killed one of the supply chains that they had, which was Activision King Blizzard, basically Call of Duty, right? So they couldn't hide on that because that's what the ponies do that too, right? They'll be like, oh yeah, we got Spider-Man 2. Look at the numbers. All the stuff that they're doing, they can't do that anymore because Microsoft owns Activision, not just COD, everything. They own it all now, right? So that killed that narrative, and this is why you get a 4 out of 10 on IGN, right? And Destin sitting over there like, well, it's a bad. Everybody's saying it's a bad um campaign. That is just one facet of Call of Duty. I was playing COD with T Reaper, man, having a blast. Kogel, right? You play COD, right? So we was having fun. We was playing it, right? And so anyway, I played a multiplayer. Now the thing that got me about the campaign, because I bought the early edition, so I was playing the campaign. The thing about the campaign, and this is not a complaint from me, but I'm not a big fan of Warzone. So the campaign took like that Warzone thing and put it in there. But because it wasn't totally Warzone, I didn't have a problem with it, right? And then also a lot of times what people do is they'll take narratives and they'll run with it. They do that with Bethesda. I know this firsthand because my daughter plays Bethesda game. She's a Bethesda fan. So she'd be complaining about Bethesda stuff all the time. Case in point, she likes Fallout 76, or even better, she plays Fallout. She's playing Fallout 4, and she was getting frustrated because when you try and build your bases, right, you can't align certain things, and she can't make it exactly the same way that she wants to. So she's complaining all the time. Meanwhile, this girl dumped like I don't know how many hours playing it. Like she's complaining about it as she plays, but she still continues to play. The next day she plays. The only thing that takes her away from that is Overwatch 2, what she complains about. So you have people that play the game that are fans that complain about this kind of stuff, but they're still engaged, right? But what people do online, as we all know, right, they take these complaints or somebody writes a negative comment or what would be purported to be a negative comment, and they take it and they spin this narrative, as Hebot says, the perception, right, in the gaming community, right? They take that and they spin it, and then these media types like this then run with it, right? They never give you context of any of this stuff, dude. You can tell when he interviewed Pactor, he was about to cry when Pactor ripped something. Yeah, and Pactor was right. Pactor's wrong, right? But then one of the reasons why I listen to Pactor is not because of his gaming prowess. In fact, a lot of us are like that, and I know in the chat you hear other Zinc always calling out the chat, saying how the chat, especially in the Xbox community, is just different. We're just cut differently, right? Because we understand, because we play our games, dude, and a lot of us are old school gamers, or we've been in playing games for years, and we enjoy gaming, right? So for me, when it comes to Michael Pachter, he's not telling me anything I don't know when it comes to gaming, and I'm not saying like I'm some kind of savant or I know everything about it. It's just that we occupy the space, we actually game, right? Experience is a lot of this stuff that we deal with, right? It's just like, dude, just like when people come at me like on the Marvel side when I talk about Marvel and what I don't like about them, right? They're over there talking to me about stuff that I'm like, dude, I know I have all the comics. Right, like this one guy I was arguing with, and I know he hated my boy. Man. He did Dark Knight Returns. I'm sorry, I'm drawing a blank. And then and I know that this dude made negative comments about him because everybody was trying to cancel him. And then I basically told the dude, I'm like, all the stuff that you're enjoying right now, this dude wrote. This guy wrote the majority of the storylines that you like, and the superhero space you occupy within the movies and television. Frank Miller is because of this guy. The whole thing of the whole Batman Superman dynamic is because of Frank Miller and what he did in the industry. It was interesting because it was a great interview Frank Miller did talking about when he did The Dark Knight Returns and how he got death threats and people hated him. Right? And there was some old school comic book writers and creators that came after him personally, and he stood by his guns. And this is what you have now, right? And he just said and he asked him why. He goes, look, dude, if you actually look at Superman and Batman, these two people would not be friends. And that was the premise for him making that dynamic between their relationship, which had paid off in dividends. And I don't have a problem with the older stuff, man. Dude, I grew up watching Super Friends. Who didn't, right? What I'm saying is that sometimes things change and stuff like that, right? But anyway, so he gets a lot of hate for that kind of stuff. But yeah, I mean, Michael Pachter, he makes these comments. So when it's on the gaming side, but financially, yeah. And the only reason I say that is just like when you watch unlimited videos and stuff like that, they come from that perspective of analysts, like analytical, right? That's why Unlimited always posts the stuff up in the articles and then he dissects it. And you're right. That's why he was crying because Destin can't spin that. To be honest, I don't care. RE was nominated. Game is a game. It just to me, it's it's the credibility of the award show, right? And so what people are doing in the media is defending the nominations. Like I said, I don't really care, but when it becomes a point of principle, that's when I get involved on it, right? Because I know there's reasons why they didn't nominate the other games, like the whole J.K. Rowling thing. That stuff's real, dude. They tried to cancel her. They tried to cancel her ass, dude. She's laughing all the way to the bank, but she was a smart businesswoman when she did the whatever royalties and stuff she gets from that stuff, the thing. And then and this is why when Microsoft, I was so happy when they're going to buy COD, because that's another game changer for them, right? You take away, and look, I'm not saying that Microsoft did that on purpose. I would like to think so. Me personally, I would like to think that they had a board meeting and said, look, if we do that, that's why I really love Matt Booty's email. Right, because Matt Booty seems to get it, right? When it comes to this console war is real, right? And people are like, well, why do you care about the console war? Because it affects me because all of my stuff is in Xbox. So naturally, this is the company that I put my time, money, especially my money, right? Because I'm still buying stuff digitally from them, right? And I'm not just talking games, man. I'm in their ecosystem. So if I want anybody to win, it's going to be them because all my stuff is here. It's just not just a fanboy thing, or when I say I bleed green, it's across the board, right? So if I'm gonna have anybody win, I'd rather be them. And also, I've said this on other videos on my channel, man. I want them to win because they're the only ones doing anything or pushing the industry forward. They're gonna make mistakes, but that's what happens, right? You have Nintendo, who's happy to be in their little corner of the gaming world. That's fine, right? They do what they do, right? But for me personally, dude, I'm like, no, let's squash this, dude. We're gonna get stuck and mired in just the same old rehash and the stuff that's happening now in gaming, man. And Xbox is the only one that does it. But if you do that, man, you're gonna trials and tribulations, man. Some stuff's gonna work, some's not, right? And then when you take risks, you can end up with something that doesn't necessarily work out great. But then on the flip side of that, you get something that does really well. Yeah, I mean, it's for me. I understand, but it's just the principle of it. My problem is that the judges don't realize that. Yeah, another thing right there. And this is why I'm doing that video because I listened to. It was hard to listen to Destin. In fact, I stopped a couple of times, and then had to regroup. In fact, I took some notes this time about some of the stuff he said just to keep my thoughts in order because it took me 2 days to watch this thing, to listen to. Plus, I was busy doing other stuff that I was enjoying myself with. Like for me, it's just like, do I really want to listen to Destin's video? Right? Unlimited them. I listen to all the crews, people, everybody's other videos that I like, and But then with Destin, I'm like, do I really want to watch a video? Or do I want to play Warhammer, 40K Dark Tide? Yeah, I'll go play Dark Tide. I'd rather do that. Yeah, that's a great game. I maxed out all my characters, but the thing with Dark Tide is I'm trying to build my character the way that I want to play it. But you need materials in the game so that you can upgrade your stuff. and that's what makes it's actually a pretty good gimmick because I love the game, so it keeps it fresh for me. I don't know if not everybody likes that, but I do. But 100%, dude, they are absolutely clueless. All games should have had 100% opportunity to be nominated. Yeah, especially this year, coming off what everybody says is a dry year, and you look at the amount of great games we had. Right? I agree, 100%. They could have nominated 20 games for Game of the Year. The IGN people don't game much. They have a narrow view of what people play. Like most games. Yeah, yeah. I will say this, dude. When I was growing up, there's people that I respected in the gaming industry, and then I realized that a couple of years ago, I was like, oh, I know why. It's because these guys are actual gamers, right? It's like the gaming was first, getting into journalism was second because they love the industry. Now you have a lot of people who are journalists that go to school to be journalists, right? And what they do is, and you can tell because they have that same type of group think mentality. That's the problem with journalism in general. And I'm talking across the board, no matter what they do. There's very few people that stand out. This is why I tend to watch a lot of stuff online, like a lot of guerrilla media. And I'm not saying I agree with everybody on there, but you just get a different perspective. It hits hard. It hits different, right? A lot of these dudes, it's like one of the biggest knocks. I guess it was in 2016 when the presidential election rolled around, and then Trump won, right? And everybody was shocked. But I was one of the few people that wasn't, because if you're trying to get your information from the gaming media in general, or just the mainstream media in general, just the look of shock in their faces. Like that happened with the gaming media with Sony. Like Sony's in big trouble. They've been in trouble for a while, man. They've been smoking mirrors, playing that shell game when it comes to their business, man. And then it took all of this stuff to finally come out, right? And that's why, again, I love that AKB court case, because that was everything put on display, right? It's like Judgment Day, man. When all your stuff's going to be laid out on the table, you're going to see everything. And a lot of people were surprised by that. Unfortunately, a lot of those people were in the gaming media. The people who are supposed to be in the know, the people that make predictions, the people that sit there and tell us we need AAA games on Xbox. This is why we're losing. And all these pony bots. One of the things. Look, dude, I'm just gonna put people on blast, dude. I don't like Gaz, right? I put Gaz in the same spot as Destin. Look, the dude makes entertaining videos and stuff like that. But like with a lot of these pony bots, man, these guys are wrong a lot of the times, and they trump the narrative. Not now, if it's his opinion, that's one thing, dude. But they follow in suit. This is why a lot of us don't like Paris Willie. That dude is lukewarm, like a dude. I'm talking on a biblical scale. This dude is lukewarm. I mean, when he talks, dude, because they don't want to offend and they want access. And to me, when I listened to him, I actually believed him. I was like, yeah, dude, I think you like PlayStation more than you like Xbox, because PlayStation gives you what you want, which is those single player, AAA games that you can knock out over a weekend, and you can do whatever you like to do, jet set around, live your life. You have a family and a kids. Ain't nothing wrong with that, dude. Just be honest with it. Like I'm playing games now, dude. Like this is why Game Pass is hard for me, dude. I'm playing. I was playing Starfield, right? Then I started on Warhammer, dude. I haven't even touched, and I was looking forward to this game, the new Yakuza, because it's sitting right now in my box, on top of like 20 other games that I want to play, because I play games, and I like variety, which is technically my fault. Right? There's a lot of stuff, dude. I haven't played Party Animals. There's a bunch of games that I wanted to do day one. Dude, I can't touch them, right? Because every time I turn on my Xbox, dude, and I'm playing, and then the other day I was playing with me and T was playing, me and T was playing a Call of Duty, and I got caught up a couple hours with them. Dude, I came back and I played, man. It reminded me of the old days, man. In fact, I love the COD now. I was playing COD, dude, and then it just was going off in the comment section. So for whatever Microsoft thinks they're gonna regulate the COD community, they better think twice, dude. That's just the way the culture is, man. If you don't like it, just let the people leave that don't like it. But don't try and manage this, because you're gonna have a lot of problems trying to manage this. And I'm sitting over there, these dudes talking to, dude. I went 6 and 25, right? I had my headphones on this time, right? And I'm in the chat. I just wasn't saying anything. And the dude who won the game, man, he was just talking all kind of trash to me. Everybody was laughing. So I put my mic on and I just say when I'm in the game, I was like, man, I missed this. And they all started laughing because they knew what I was talking about. Because this is what COD was at its core, man. If you don't got the skin, if you don't have any thick skin, man, then you're in the wrong game. It's like when people attack me for anime, right? Because they know my religious or whatever views I have and stuff like that. And it's like, oh, how can you watch anime? Anime does this, and this. I said, well, when that happens, when an anime is like that, you know what I do? I don't watch it. Yeah, I just watch something else that I like, right? And that's the problem nowadays, man. And so with these guys in the gaming media and stuff like that, dude, they are absolutely clueless when it comes to culture, right? Like they're talking about COD, like they know, like yeah, people aren't happy with it. Yeah, people are not happy maybe with the campaign because it is a shocker if you used to playing the campaign a certain way, the way that it's normally done, and then you drop in there. Like I went to one of the storage crates, and then there was like it was funny, dude, because I like a shotgun, and I got I forgot this what the brand T could tell you what gun it could tell you the suction, and then I died, right? And then I replayed the thing. I went back. I was like, okay, let me start again. And then I went back and I went into the thing, and it's almost like the game knew I sucked, and the game said, okay, look, dude, here's a sentry, a rocket launcher. You like up my it gave me like all this, basically gave me these upgrades like perks almost. It is kind of like saying, look, dude, you need some help because obviously you don't know what's going on. Because I don't like Warzone, to be honest with you guys, right? But they took elements of Warzone and they put it into the campaign. So if people like myself don't like Warzone, um, and it's not like a bad thing. I'm just not good at it. If I'm being honest with you, right? But because it's just an open thing, and then if you don't play it enough, man, there's people that just sit on spots and just whack you, right? So I'm not saying that it's bad, right? This is my problem with it, but the game is it's not it's not that the campaign is horrible. It's just people have different preferences, and it's funny to me that they can do that with other games on other systems, Nintendo, Mario, right? They can do all that stuff and give them leeway, but when it comes to Xbox, they can't do that, and that's why this Xbox tax is real. Xbox tax, when people look at it, like when Destin gave his opinion on it, it's because these games were nominated. No, dude, this is over 10 years. Actually, 20 years. Though the entire existence of Xbox has been built on this Xbox tax, right? Which is media bias, which is not getting a fair shake, which is hating on Xbox because they're owned by Microsoft, because people have a bone to pick with Microsoft, which is fine, right? Like I said, I work with guys that are old school techs, man, and they hate Microsoft for whatever reasons, right? Like something as simple as they keep on changing, like whatever software Microsoft comes up, then they change it around to give it a new skin of paint, but then you got to relearn it. So that's frustrating to people. I know I work with their stuff, so I don't really like doing stuff on PC. Sorry, dude, I'm getting away from the chat. Yeah, COD is awesome. Yeah, dude, I'm having a blast with it. It's interesting to me because I didn't realize how much better they made the Modern Warfare 2 maps until I played the new COD. Because I like Modern Warfare 2. I didn't have a problem with the graphics, but they definitely upgraded now, as you can see better, and it affects the gameplay. Helps me out, man. Maybe because I'm old. The MP is the multiplayer is the most fun I've had since 2019. Yeah, and there's a lot of people playing it. And one of the reasons why is because they have the old maps that people loved, right? And then I was playing with T Reaper, and then Reaper, what he did was, I don't know what mode he picked, because that's the thing I get lost in a lot with COD, right? They have all their stuff. Like I just usually like playing team deathmatch, but then team deathmatch wasn't an option, and then you have to like we went into some kind of mixer or something like that. And we were playing all different types of games, but then it was fun. I was like, and if T didn't do that, I probably wouldn't have played it. Not because I have a thing against it, dude. Look, dude, I'm old, and I can't keep up with all this stuff, man. I just want to get in and out sometimes. But I was playing with T, and then T was like, "No, let's do this," and then we were running it. Then he was showing me the guns that he had and stuff like that. Dude, it was fun, man. It was like old school, dude. It was like old school COD, the way it should be. I haven't even touched the campaign. I'll try it tonight, but I need to finish the Modern Warfare from last year. Yeah, I didn't even get the last game, dude, because I was still playing the first Modern Warfare. I was liking that a lot. What I'll probably do is when it comes to Game Pass, then I'll jump into it. I'll jump into it. I got every single. The only two games, Call of Duty games I don't have, there's three I don't have. I didn't like. Oh, wait, actually, I do have it still though, because I did buy it because I played it. Yeah, Ghost I didn't like, and then they did that Modern Warfare 2, the newest one, and then that other one they did that I never got that I didn't like. And a lot of and another thing too, I was playing other stuff as well. I think I was like in Overwatch at the time. So okay, sorry guys, I'll catch up. That they're still whining about the campaign is the issue. Nobody really cares about it. Yeah, dude, it's just like look, dude. Like I was saying earlier, man. It's like people complain about Bethesda. Oh, hey, hold on, guys. 1 second. Oh, sorry, I thought I heard my son. Okay, so is it there's second? Yeah, so just like my daughter, like I was saying, right? She'll complain. It's like Overwatch 2, man. She's playing it. She like when they nerf Mercy. I don't know if you guys play it, but Mercy's like this healing character that my daughter loved to play. and then they changed her. And then she got really mad because the thing about Overwatch is you buy into the characters. The art styles what drew my daughter into playing the game. I actually loved the multiplayer because I was playing it before. And then the art style would draw you in, drew her in. But then she got to know the characters, and that's a big thing with Overwatch, right? And so the thing with Mercy is she's a character like she's a healer. She's not really a fighter. And then they nerfed her character and they gave her like this ability to shoot. Right? That just ruined it for her. She didn't touch the character for months. She was playing other people and she kind of fell off of Overwatch. But that's what I'm talking about. Just because they do something that you don't like doesn't mean the game's trash. And that's the problem with the gaming media. People like Destin, right? Is they'll see that kind of stuff and they'll run with it. Dude, if you don't have the ability to discern what people are saying, or because you're not as hardcore into the culture that you guys were saying earlier, dude, this is why I can't listen to these dudes, man. This is why I don't listen to half the Xbox dudes, man. I know some of you guys love Colt. I know some of you guys like I don't have a problem personally with Dealer. I can't stand his crew though, right? The Iron Lords, man, they're great, but I only really like King David, right? Because he represents and he just spits his stuff out there and he does it classy, right? In fact, he started doing videos on his own, man. Go support his channel, man. That dude's he's good. You know, like you got Dirk Griggity and stuff like that. I listen to him. I listen to 100. You know, there's people outside of my circle that I listen to, but there's very few, man. Because a lot of these dudes, man, it's hard to listen to them, man. It's hard to listen to them because they're wrong. Because a lot of these dudes were chirping about we need AAA bangers, man. We need to compete with PlayStation and AAA bangers. Now look at PlayStation. Where PlayStation at? Right? And then the real funny part was when PlayStation came on and said they're going to do 10 gas games, right? Because money talks, man. That's what it is. It's all about the money. You might not like it. I don't like it, dude. I'm old school gamer, stuff like that. In some instances like that, I can see it hurting the industry. I'm not, I'm cognizant of that fact that's the thing. But the problem is that's the way the game is going. The kids who game nowadays, they're different than us, man. And that's another problem, man. Some of these dudes are, and they're not as old as me, but which is even more sad to me because if I'm older than you and I can see it, dude, it shocks me that you guys can't. Right? And I'm not saying that I like it, dude, but that's just the direction. Like at some point, dude, I'll be riding off into the sunset. I know definitely Xbox is my last goal. So if Xbox would have went away, I'm done, dude. I would have been done. Right. And it's not just because of hate, but because like Xbox laws or anything like that. Like, Xbox is the only company giving me what I like, and that's the bottom line when it comes to these guys, dude. There's only one company that this is why I love them as a Sega fan, man, because they do the things that Sega does. But the great thing about Xbox is that they're owned by Microsoft, and the great thing about Microsoft is they have a lot of money. And this is what's pissing these people off. This is why you're getting a 4 out of 10 out of IGN. This is why a lot of these journalists who don't want to admit it, and some of them aren't even cognizant of the simple fact of their bias, man, that they hate. If you listen to some of these journalists in the gaming thing, they're like regular journalists, dude. They just hate capitalism, right? They hate certain aspects about the industry, right? These are the guys that are sitting there and say we want a level playing field and stuff like that. That's not how business works, man. And the sad thing about it is Microsoft is the only company that takes that kind of stuff into consideration. But Microsoft also knows because of their business acumen that they need to make money. I'm going to tell you 100%. This is how I feel. You guys can tell me if you're wrong, if I'm wrong in the comments, man, or have your own opinion. That's fine. I don't care. I actually trust you guys, right? And your opinions. I actually listen to you guys. But the whole thing about Microsoft doing this kind of stuff, right? There's a reason why they still support ID at Xbox. When independent games back in the day in 2013, we'll take it back there with Destin was saying, oh, Xbox, yada yada. 2013 was horrible, right? And so they helped. So he was part of the problem because he helped spin that narrative. Um, the hit on one of the other hits on Microsoft and Xbox is they didn't support indie developers. They didn't have independent games, and PlayStation was the darling. Now, to PlayStation's credit, they did the indie thing. But what people don't know that I knew back then because I was a Sony dude back in the day, as far as electronics and stuff like that, Sony just does this stuff as a business module, right? That's why they do it. Right? It helps their bottom line. What Microsoft did, they looked at that and they listened to people, and then they started doing independent games, and then people kind of went away from that narrative, right? Because it wasn't going to win them any console war bonus points, right? They couldn't use that. They couldn't weaponize it for the console. But the amazing thing that Xbox did was they still stuck with it. So that ID at Xbox program that we remember from back in the day, because I loved it, dude. I love indie stuff, dude. Right? I do that with movies. I do it with my music. So video games is and comic books. There was a time Marvel was sucking so bad with their stuff, and I wasn't a big DC fan. In fact, I was reading more DC than Marvel back then because they had this whole thing on the Infinite Crisis thing that they reimagined, which is awesome. And I was reading that, and then Flash was having a good run. Flash was having good runs, and then Green Lantern had a couple good runs. Except except for that Rainbow Coalition that they did, that whole Skittle thing. That kind of got away from me. Um, but I was reading more DC than Marvel, and what I ended up doing, I started drifting to indies. So there are market for indies and stuff like that. So my point being is that Xbox actually did that. They listened to people, they changed, but then they realized, hey, indie games are great games because people at Xbox, like Phil Spencer and Sarah Bond, play video games. Okay, so that got baked into the process, right? And then they supported it, and not just. And this was over 10 years ago. In fact, they just had an anniversary or something like that. They had a really good stream, and I'm talking about it, but all the people wanted from the indie games was to use it to against Xbox. Xbox took that negative, turned it into a positive, and now you have the Idea Xbox program. This is why when you look at your Game Pass, you have a ton of games because you have AAA games, you have AAA third party games, you have AA games, you have 1A games, and then you have indie games. You have everything in Game Pass, which is a problem for most of us because it's hard to play every single game. Right? This is the real stuff. Yeah, I don't hear the media talk about stuff like that. Right? They was telling us for years Game Pass is horrible, right? Game Pass doesn't have enough titles, right? They have AAA games that Microsoft puts in, but nobody likes Halo. Halo sucks, right? All this kind of stuff. And what Microsoft said, they just held that line, right? And the reason why they can hold the line now, Xbox can, is because Microsoft supports them. And this is what pisses them off, dude, because this is why they come with the whole, the big corporation thing and it's changing the industry. Meanwhile, Sony been doing this for years, right? The company that they love and they show for has been doing it all this time. Which, thank you, AKB. Thank you for exposing them. That they're whining about the campaign is the issue. Nobody really cares about it. Yeah, because most people play the multiplayer. We all know that. Even I used to. I like Halo. When I play Halo, I actually love the campaign. And COD, I love the campaign as well. But I fell into that same thing too because what happens is, right, if you don't jump into the multiplayer real quick and learn the maps, dude, you're going to be hating life. Like I was having problems. Like, okay, here's one of my things I was having an issue with. Right, I play Modern Warfare 3, the new one, and I always go with the M4. And for some reason, the M4 was just absolutely horrible to use, man. To me, the M4 has always been that gun that you can use, right, so you can hold your own, man. But that when I used to shoot that thing was all over the place, right? And maybe it's because I'm old. I don't know what was going on. But finally, I got some attachments unlocked, right? I died a bazillion times, right? Because you got guys playing this thing nonstop. I don't have that luxury. And I would go into lobbies and just get wiped. So it was kind of fun playing with T, man. At least I could play off a T. And then a Slayer, we were playing, right? And then so I stood a chance actually, right? Because I could play off of those guys. But man, it wasn't until I got the underbarrel unlocked to help me stabilize the gun that I could actually put rounds down like the way I like to play. Now, look, I'm not saying I'm good, dude. In fact, because of my age, I'd say before I would brag that I was like a little bit above average. Dude, I'm below average now. I'd say I'm like in the 40%. That bad. Because I'd be playing against people, man. I'd just be getting smoked, and they'd be doing some amazing stuff, dude. I'm not blaming lag or any kind of stuff like that or the cheating and all that junk. But there's like really quality players, man. It just shows my age. But I really think Destin is checked out on gaming. I've seen him talk about games, and he seems to not give shit anymore. He does just enough to do his job, it seems. Yeah. Because he's getting older, and his priorities have shifted. And I'm not hitting him on this, dude. I mean, honestly, he has a kid now, where he talks about his baby. That's awesome, and that is more important than games. So yeah, we all get old, bro. For some reason, I'm kind of stuck in this like retro thing. I talk about it on here. Dude, I watch like K dramas. I even listen to K-pop. I was chagrin of my kids, but and the reason why I do that, man, is because I'm stuck in this little not stuck. It's about to use. I'm in this groove right now where I'm just like recycling some of the old stuff we did, man, back when I was growing up, dude. When I listen to some of the K-pop music, it reminds me of some of the great stuff that was going on in the 80s and 90s with music, especially in the 90s, dude. Especially if you listen to early 90s hip hop, right? The SWV and all when it was really kicking off. Dude, it was just like an amalgamation of all types of music, man. You can listen to anything, dude. If you listen to grunge, into alternative metal, hip hop, R&B, soul, all that stuff. And then what ended up happening, man, all of this stuff tried to matriculate. Some stuff was kind of cool, but some people didn't like it, right? Like you had that Judgment Day soundtrack, which had House of Pain, and they did stuff with programs. So they had all that kind of melody because it was the experimentation. right? So when I see some of the stuff coming from South Korea, man, that's what reminds me of. Or even their shows reminds me because, like I said, guys, I'm old. The stuff that they're doing now is stuff that we did back in the '80s, right? When you watch shows like Dallas or Falcon Crest or Trapper MD, stuff my grandmother used to watch, LA Law. Um, all of that stuff that we had in the '80s and '90s, they're doing in Korea now, in South Korea specifically. And you see that with their gaming, man, because what it is they're discovering themselves, man. Their creativity is at an all-time high. If you guys get a chance, man, on Black Friday sale, there's this movie called Witch, and it comes out of South Korea. And the reason why I like that I watching that movie is because the actress was in this other show called Itaewon Class that I love, which you can also watch on Netflix, Itaewon Class. But one of the main actresses, I loved her in that show, that K drama. And then I saw the movie that put her on the map was this movie called Witch, and it's on sale. Witch 1 and 2. I don't know how good 2 is. Like, I love 1, but you can buy it as a dual pack. Right? I think I bought it for like $4.99 or $3.99. But if you guys want to expand your horizons, like I know a lot of us in this community do that. Right? This is why we don't get stuck on stupid with a lot of these narratives that get put out by the gaming media, right? Because when things go south, we just go do something else. Right? I know a lot of you guys watch anime like I do. Right, like I watch the big anime I'm watching right now for me, Spy Family, because it's something I can watch with my kids, especially my daughter. She loves it, and it's just good writing, man, and it's funny, and they do a lot of stuff in the overseas industries. Like if you guys watch stuff from India as well, some people don't like India because it seems like it's kind of over the top, but it's like it's their style, dude, and it's for their audience, and so that's the great thing about overseas stuff that's happening right now. It's like if you like their stuff and then you come into their communities and their content and stuff like that, and you like their content, they'll do that. This is why I still love Japanese games. This is why I love Yakuza. Right? Yakuza at its core is just straight up 100% unadulterated, weird Japanese stuff that I love. Right? So when this is why I don't dwell on the stuff like the Game Awards and stuff like that, right? For various reasons. But that's another thing. I can do other stuff with my time. Mr. Kima Paris is Two Face. Yeah, yeah. He's the kind of person like I could just imagine being your manager and you work with him, dude. And he's the kind of person that'll get you more work, right? Or one of the guys that you'll miss out on your bonus because he wanted to play nice with other people. I just don't. I don't like people like that, dude. I don't know him personally, dude. It's not a personal slight against him. It's just his professional persona and the way he does things and stuff like that, dude. We are in a console war. I know people don't like me saying that. That was like, oh, why don't we get past all this kind of stuff? The reason why why people say that now, that was not involved like we are, is because they're just coming into it now, because it's easier now, dude. But you guys, look, dude, if we want to go down memory lane and talk about 2013, 2014, 2015, it was brutal, dude. The reason why nobody said stuff like, oh, the console war is stupid is because we was living it in real time. That sucked. That time sucked, man. Because and I said this in my video. And why the Xbox tax is real is because we don't have a Rise Son of Rome 2. We do not have a Sunset Overdrive 2, right? We never got our specific Titanfall game that they should have built on. The original Titanfall, you guys remember they had a community manager that was talking to us, and I absolutely loved the game from the jump. Even Red Dragon loved it back then. Right? Red Dragon was one of the biggest people talking about it. That's how I picked up on him and listening to him, right? And so what everybody wanted, and we are communicating with them, was like, it'd be great if you have this type of skins, and if you had, if you like one of the things that they did do, right? They updated on Titanfall the AI in the game because Titanfall was unique for its time, right? You just come into the game and boom, you just dropped, bam, into the middle of a battle, and there's all kind of stuff going on, right? At the time that you go in there, right? So as you're engaging certain people, man, there's things actually happening in real time. This is why Starfield is such a great game. Right, because you write your own story, you create your character, you're writing your own story, you're experiencing your own space exploration, you're doing all this stuff in Starfield. Meanwhile, stuff is happening all around. And I know other games do this, right? But like Dale was saying, there's this part of Starfield. Sorry for the spoiler. There's this part of Starfield because I got the same thing, right? It's where you have this picture of this girl that she made, right? And you if you do something, right, it becomes like this little movement. So you'll go out throughout the game, and Dale was talking about this in more context, right? You go out throughout the game, and in the game, you'll see her pictures start popping up everywhere, like that type of immersion. So at its core, this is what gaming is. And all these pricks that were saying that Starfield sucked, man, and never mentioned anything like that. That's how you know you can't listen to them, Like I'm playing this game, I'm like, what are these guys talking about, dude? I'm like barely scratching the surface, dude. The fact that I didn't even follow the story and I put all the whatever 100 hours I put into that, or however many I know I put a lot of time into it. I got distracted by Warhammer. But the fact that they couldn't comment on anything, they just told me, it's like, dude, this is not a game that you can play and review. This is why I don't like reviews, man. Like I said last week, there's this reason because you don't have the time, right? The people don't put in the quality time. They're not fans. That's another thing, right? They might not. They do. People do reviews that don't even like the genre, and I think there's some kind of Freudian thing that people like to do in the gaming industry, like journalists do this stuff in the real mainstream media and stuff like that. It's like, oh, we need a different perspective. So let's get somebody in there that absolutely hates racing car games. Hey, Unlimited. I'm sorry, I didn't see you there, brother. Let's get a person in there that absolutely hates racing car games to get his perspective on it. Like he'll give us a fresh new perspective. Then you watch it, and then the review goes exactly like how it goes. Like, dude, like there's certain games that I don't like, dude. Like Tokyo, the one that dude, what's the game we just got? The Tokyo, you guys know what I'm talking about, right? When we got Bethesda, and they brought that Tokyo game to show that. So the game's great, loved it and stuff like that. But then it went to a level in there that I'm not comfortable with playing, man. That's just the way I am. Is it a sucky game? No, in fact, I gave it this props, man. The bit that I played is pretty amazing. I mean, sorry, brother, I got you.
Oh, okay.
I hope he wasn't waiting long. I kind of went off on a tangent. So,
No, I wasn't waiting long.
let me read some of these stuff though, real quick.
Yeah, go ahead.
A good determinant of a pony bot is listen to them after they release a riffle. The true fans knew what it was. The pony bots bought into the pony narrative, as they always do. And to your point, Global Man, I felt like when I was talking about Redfall, again, I don't do reviews because, like I said in my last video, man, all of this stuff is subjective. This is why I can't stand reviews. What you like, I'm not gonna like. I know this for a fact because my entire life has been like that. If I listen to anybody about what they say is a good game, or good music, or good movies, 85% of the stuff I like, I wouldn't watch. That's just the honest truth. I wouldn't either watch, listen, or play any of that stuff. Right? There's a movie that I love called Better Off Dead. Now this is a movie from back in the day. Now when that movie came out, there are people
I
that
remember that movie.
yeah, but a lot of people at the time was like, "What is that? Why is John Cusack was this labeled as this really weird dude?" Now fast forward to 20, 30 years ago, or not later, like where we are now, and people are like, "Oh man, that movie's awesome, man! It's a cult classic." I remember watching it. Really, you remember watching it? Because I think you're only 25 years old, right? I didn't watch it recently. You know what I'm saying? And I'm not saying that to down them. What I'm saying is that there's just a level of just the way, especially if you're online, that the way narratives are formed, which is the big problem with all of this kind of stuff. Right. Hey, Unlimited. Go ahead, brother, if you want to say anything.
Oh no. Can you hear me?
Yeah, you're coming in loud.
Okay, cool. Hey, what did Destin say?
He was just basically saying that the Xbox tax does not. So he was noticing online that they have the Xbox tax is trending, and so he gave his 2 cents, and basically he thinks it's Xbox tax doesn't exist, and from his perspective, what he was talking about was just for the Game Awards, right? Specifically, right? And then he quoted some people, like he even played. This is something I know that you would do, but you would break it down like 1,000 times better. Like he took the clip everybody's using that Major Nelson was talking about on that, and I remember that interview in real time because I was watching that.
Yeah.
Where Major Nelson, and you can tell it's real because Major Nelson, you could tell on his face that he was frustrated just by the sound of his voice, right? And he was talking about how
and the way he answered it, because
yes.
he even interrupted Homeboy when he was saying, because if I remember the quote correctly, it went something in the lines of, "You guys aren't getting credit. We never will." Right, and because he had to get that in because he knew even back then, and that was from 2018, what was going on. But continue.
Yeah, and he was ground zero 2013. And then that's another thing Destin said. Well, they had such a horrible 2013, and I'm like, yeah, see, that's the problem, Destin. You're part of the problem. The fact that you didn't realize 2013 was probably one of their best years as far as what they're gonna do, and now everybody, 2023, 10 years later, everybody's like online is like, wow, I guess we basically just I forgot who it was. I know Peter Oval called them out, and I saw you comment on Twitter where they did that with Quantum Break. No,
yeah. Oh, there's one even worse. There's a whole article that just straight up said 10 years. I like Xbox Visions 10 years later.
Yeah, exactly.
I was gonna do a podcast on that, but I didn't have the time to during the Thanksgiving festivities. Yeah, no. It's kind of funny how all of a sudden, these Xbox games are great that they hated on years ago,
Yeah,
and how they love the vision now, 10 years later. Where back then not only did they throw a hissy fit, they tried to tear down the whole Xbox brand.
yeah,
You
yeah,
know,
yeah. And it's funny to see them now, right? Because they're like, oh, what happened? I'm like, dude, it was you. It was you guys, man. It's like that Scooby Doo, right? When you take the mask off, right? It's like
yeah,
kind of destroy the Xbox. You take the mask off, and it's like the gaming media should be their face plastered all over that. I'm like, yeah, dude, you guys were the. And this is what gets me about Destin when you're talking about this stuff. And he's bringing the fact that he brings it up and he's not cognizant of it, right?
mm.
And this is the guy that's basically sat there. You remember the whole 980p versus
Yeah.
the 1080p crap, right? And he did that, right? So he was part of the problem, and the fact that he can't, dude, it's just like a dude who's a drunk and beats his wife.
Right,
And he wakes up the next morning and he's like, "Oh, what happened, honey?
right.
Are you okay? I didn't, this is what the gaming media is nowadays. Maybe that's a bad thing.
Yeah, man. The game, and that's where I draw the line. You don't sit here hate on Xbox for a decade and then play coy when you actually like the stuff that we've been telling y'all was great.
Yeah.
I can't wait for the Crackdown 3 with underrated articles.
You know what? Unlimited, dude, I was disappointed this morning with you, man.
Mm-hmm.
I woke up this morning and I was like, I know Unlimited had to have done a video on this.
Oh.
But like you said, I was the same way. I just caught it yesterday in transition because I have to drive from the side of the island to go to my dad's. Because I've been the same way with Thanksgiving. But it was hard for me to listen to Dustin's video, man, because he makes the cardinal sin of number one being clueless, and
Right.
number two, knowing that he's part of the problem.
Right.
And it's even there's this one funny part of it where he's like talking about it. He gets a little passionate about it, and he goes, "Hey, but subscribe to my channel." Right, because he was calling out one of the Modern Warfare guys channels, and he was like, "Look, this guy's part of the Modern Warfare community." I'm like, "Dude, you didn't read the tweet right." What he was saying was it caught him off guard because, yeah, he plays Modern Warfare 3. He runs a Modern Warfare site, and he has the same complaints with Modern Warfare. So for a person like him, like how my daughter complains about the game she plays, for him to be caught off guard by a 4 out of 10, that was the point of his tweet.
Right.
I'm like, dude, okay, so I don't know. Reading is fundamental, brother, and maybe comprehension skills is falling off in your old age. But you need to go back and read that tweet and what the guy is saying. He's shocked,
right?
Because what the dude was saying is like it's always like that with COD for people complaining. Like when I listen to my sister or my daughter complain about playing Overwatch, right?
All right.
And but guess what she plays every day?
Overwatch, yeah.
Yeah, she was the same. She's like, Dad, they didn't have the single player or camp. They had there was some mode that she was waiting on. They didn't have it. They nerfed all her characters that she loved. She's complaining to high heaven about it. She's mad about this kind of stuff, right? And what does she does? She raids my wallet, buys their skins, and then she plays it for like 4 or 5 hours. Right? And I'm like, yeah, that's just like me, man, like Marvel.
Right.
I've been complaining about Marvel forever. Veterans Day, I watched Captain America: The First Avenger.
Oh.
I was like, man, I gotta watch Captain America: The First Avenger. Even my kids, like, don't you hate Marvel now? I was like, mind your business, kids.
Right.
But yeah, let me read Shenzo's brother. Yeah, there's so many we can't listen to. Sony would kill to have a Halo or Gears that constantly play for years. Yeah. Oh, and to your point, Shenzo, guess what's coming up? Guess what's back on track is Halo.
Yeah. Oh yeah. 30 million players. Season 5's been on fire. I mean, you couldn't. The Halo crew should feel in high heaven over there at 343.
The thing that irked me about Halo was since I played it, I thought they did an amazing job. The only thing, well, I won't go down that road, but the single player, like for them to take the risk like they did with 5 and 4, to take the risks with that franchise and actually have it pay off. That open world thing was amazing. The direction they took with the campaign. But then when you play the multiplayer is solid. Now, the only knock I'll have on the multiplayer is that they tried to do a live service and they were not prepared for that. Especially when you're competing with like Modern Warfare, but more importantly, Fortnite at that time. Yeah, definitely. They had stuff missing. Does that mean the game sucked? No, because when you jumped in there, right, and they made some changes, which actually worked. Through some of the weapons they put in there, like that spike, and when you shoot basically it's a harpoon, right? And then some of the videos you watch, and I was in game playing stuff, man. It's like there was stuff that was in there that made it still Halo and made it fun, and that was added to it. But the only knock on it, right, and this comes from a lot of the newer players because they're used to with the Fortnite model and stuff like that. You can't help that, dude. That's just the reality. But the game was not bad.
I'm with you there. You those who are still on the Xbox hate train, man. What's your destination, man? When you gonna get off that train and do something new?
Well, like you were saying, I think in last week's podcast, right? At some point, man, you go piss or get off the pot, right? Like there's people who complain about stuff to complain, or maybe like you were saying, right? They if you have a YouTube channel, you do that. You do it for clips and it gets you views, it gets you out there and stuff like that. But you got to be careful with playing that game, man. People will see right through it eventually.
Yep.
But the people that you should listen to the most, my recommendation, and that's not to the chat because I know you guys know this, man. But anybody who might come across this video is actually listen to the people who might, who actually play the game.
Mm-hmm.
Or here's better yet, the people that actually own an Xbox.
Yeah.
I see some of these dudes talking about things, and then they're like, "Oh yeah, I don't have an Xbox." Because I remember one time I was talking to this guy saying, I was like, "Well, look, dude," because he was talking about stuff he likes. I was like, "Okay, look, dude, well, just go buy. They got movies on sale." I told him something like that. They got stuff on sale anime. You got anime, dude. You can get the whole seasons of My Hero Academia because he likes My Hero Academia. Right. Just go on your Xbox and buy that, dude. It's like $4.99 a season. And he goes, "Oh, I can't." I said, "Oh, why not?" He goes, "Oh, I don't have an Xbox." I was like, "What?" And I was so pissed, dude. I was like, I was sitting here listening to you complain about these games and you don't even play them. I'm like, bro, come on, man. And that's the height of what we have to deal with gaming nowadays. Shinzo Lee, I like those third-person sad dad games, some of them anyway, but thankfully Xbox makes more than just those. I like Xbox variety. Yeah, that's what I do too, Shinzo. And I say this too, and Unlimited, you can chime in, but I don't care what PlayStation does, I'll be honest with you guys. Dude, if you like God of War, love God of War. Now, if you love God of War and then you come into my podcast now and tell me how Xbox sucks, I'm like, okay, look, dude. Like Unlimited is famous for that. That's how you know you're getting popular, bro. Is people are actually coming into your to your actual Xbox podcast and talking trash, right? And it's easy to kill them, right? Because you tell them, dude, shouldn't you be playing Spider-Man right now?
Who's playing Spider-Man?
No, like anybody, like how Shinzo's saying, like he likes those games. And that's look, Shinzo, bro, play them, dude. If you Unlimited has a PlayStation, Ebot has PlayStation, or his son's at PlayStation. He can play. My son has a PlayStation. I bought my son Spider-Man, dude, for $70. I'm not gonna I want to do that. I'm not gonna ever own a PlayStation.
Yeah.
Right, and there's a whole reason with Spider-Man that I don't even want to go down that rabbit hole. Right. It's more than just Sony. It's just Spider-Man and Marvel in general.
Yeah, look, man. For me, as a PlayStation 5 owner, I got my own Sony tax. Once them games are $20 and under, then I'll consider buying it.
Yeah. Well, and for me, it was like some people were like giving me crap, right? And I was like, look, dude, it's my son's birthday. That's what he wanted. And I want to buy it from him. Look, dude, I'm not gonna download my insecurities upon my child.
Right? Yeah. That ain't gonna happen.
And plus, they're not even like that. I don't even like when I do these podcasts. My kids ain't around, right? Because
right.
Dad, what are you talking about?
Right.
Dad, calm down. Here's your medicine. Right? Because it's oblivious to them. In fact, that's to me a bigger problem with gaming. Is this that we're not talking about because we're stuck on stupid with the console war stuff, right? And the Xbox tax. And to you, Destin, here's another problem. It's because gaming is changing. The newer generation is different from us, and that's a real challenge that Microsoft is trying to acknowledge right now. They know what's going on, and this is why they're doing what they're doing.
Yeah, man. Look, the newer generation, they're all about the digitals. They're all about their Fortnites and Minecrafts. They got their thing going on.
That's why I said, man, for the last couple of years, man. In fact, I was on Twitter with Zobia. We both were talking about this back and forth in tweets, man. I was like, the interesting thing to me is that the way we grew up, they're definitely different. And people are like people around our age or maybe younger, but in our group of people growing up gaming, the younger generation, they're used to, like you said, the Minecraft model or the Fortnite model and stuff like that. So when we complain about, like how people complain about like how this is gambling and all this kind of stuff, I was like, bro, it's not the industry, dude. It's your fellow gamer is doing this. And they're the ones that are buying all this stuff, because if this stuff wasn't making the money that it's making, then they wouldn't do it. The industry doesn't. They're just following where the money is going, and And the money's coming from gamers, man. And that's the
Mhm.
reality, because there are people in this world that can just play one game and buy every single skin.
Yeah. Definitely could do that. And it's funny you say that, because you look at, sometimes it could be a little frustrating as somebody who's a variety gamer, to see people who could only play Call of Duty and that's it. That's all they do. They play Call of Duty and they are happy.
Yes.
But
That's
I learned a long time ago. Listen, I don't tell people what to play. I don't tell people what to do. I just speak my mind and keep it moving.
right.
That's why I don't even really like arguing with PlayStation guys, because I already know what their thing is. The
Yeah.
gamers, they're gonna come in my chat, hate Xbox, and stall the show. So I barely like even arguing with them most of the time, But my thing is that the beauty of, especially with Xbox, man, Xbox gives this just wonderful variety of games right now.
Yeah.
I mean, just variety of content in general. Um, that I just don't know how anyone isn't happy with it. And to circle that back to the whole Xbox tax thing,
Hmm.
Destin Gary's on Twitter right now. I was trying to catch up, and I see him on Twitter arguing with people who's shown him proof of his own bias a decade ago. And, he's trying to downplay that. It's like, all right, man, you are going to losing battle here. This idea that okay, in a year where Xbox released Starfield, Redfall, Age of Empires 4 and 2 remastered, Hi-Fi Rush, Forza, and I'm probably missing some other games, right? Not a single game gets rewarded, and there's no bias, but the one Sony game, the only one Sony game they released that knows fully glitches and everything. Oh, that gets nominated. You don't think just there isn't something in the back of your head? Hi, Dave, how you doing? There isn't something in the back of your head, just a tiny bit that say, "Hey, man, something ain't right." Right? Not even a little bit. No, with Nintendo, I'm just flat out used to it. Listen, Nintendo, the gaming media, the gaming world stopped holding Nintendo to any standard since 2006 with the Wii. Ever since that moment, Nintendo's had a free reign to do whatever, and that gets on my nerves sometimes because I would love a Nintendo console that could run modern games instead of all this crap they do too. But Sony, man, but I'll say this: at least with Nintendo, they're not as aggressive with it. With PlayStation, they treat that like the end all be all of gaming. And then as somebody who has a PlayStation and I gave these games a fair chance. Sega Forever, fair chance. With as unbiased as possible. Played a lot of them and they're boring as hell. Nah,
Yeah.
man, get out of here with that.
Yeah, dude. In fact, Nintendo is the future of Sony in some instances, right? Nintendo's happy to stay in your little corner of the
Mm-hmm.
gaming. Again, I don't have anything with Nintendo. I still participate because my daughter will probably get the latest whatever. Well, I don't know, dude. She's like hardcore Bethesda fan now, dude. I mean, she plays like Fallout 76. This is why I don't listen to people like you're like Fallout 76 is horrible. I said, really? Because there's like a community of people that I see
Oh
all the
yeah,
time.
yeah. The people
That's
who love it
true.
really love it.
I have a friend that plays it all the time. So
The only thing I don't like about Fallout 76, hey Dale, welcome to the podcast. I'll just say my piece and then you can jump in. Fallout 76 is the people there is just too nice for me. Does that make
um,
sense? You know what I mean? Like
Way
they
too
want to help
nice.
me. You
they
know, and I'm
do.
like,
They're very, very nice
yeah,
people.
and I'm like,
Yeah.
look, dude, I'm in a post-apocalyptic thing, and I don't want your help. But I mean, to the point where it's a great community to have, and that's what keeps it going. And I
That's
don't care,
true.
man. Like they'll sit there and they sell like PlayStation has a bazillion consoles they sold, and they sold however many copies of Spider Man. I'm like, yeah, you can do that. You can say that all you want to, but every time I see when my daughter goes online, the amount of
Mm-hmm.
people that are playing like every single day Overwatch and Fallout 76 and all this kind of stuff, right? And I'm like, yeah, I see people playing like constantly. It's not dead, right? So what would you prefer? Would you want to have that type of total engagement, or would you just want to get like a one time shot? This is why the movie industry is struggling now because they can't fall back on the physical sales like they used to.
Thank you.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. That's right. DVD sales used to carry a lot of movies back in the day.
Yeah, yeah. So welcome, Dea, to the podcast. Did you
Thank
catch
you
up?
for having me.
Well, did you
All right.
see that? I know I kind of did this. I was kind of mad at Unlimited because when I woke up this morning, I checked my thing because I thought he'd have a video ready for us. Um,
Unlimited took a little break, huh?
Yeah.
He's selfish, man. He was celebrating Thanksgiving. Just joking.
Nah, we did that Thanksgiving show Wednesday, so that's
Yeah,
all
Yeah, I
that
that's
was
was
all I
like,
had
I
in
was
me.
shocked you had. I was cooking and so I didn't have. I couldn't
Yeah,
make
no,
it.
no, no, no. Listen, like I said when I sent you the message, view with your family, be with your family,
Right.
because he about didn't make it either, and I know he got a huge family himself.
Yeah. Yeah.
Oh yeah. I'm surprised I'm doing this now. But it
Yeah,
just
Yeah,
bothers me
because
so
didn't
much.
you say that your Hawaiian family is very much like
yeah,
other families with big families that come
yeah,
together on that day.
yeah. Apparently, it's the whole island is his family.
That's
That
a
is
good
my,
one.
like I said, if I get married again, I'm gonna go. I gotta go to Ohio.
Yeah.
Sandusky, Sandusky, Ohio, man. I know we ain't touched that. That's the place where the gene pool. I don't care how they look either. I'd be like, yeah, you think I'm cool? Yeah, okay, we good. No, but that's what it is. Is like my family. We have these get-togethers. So because our family's so big, everybody has other family. You know, like my sister,
Mhm.
the mother-in-law. Like her mother-in-law has a big family too, so they go to that one. So
Right,
maybe
you
they
have
don't
Right.
to
come on
pick.
Thursday.
That's what I have to do a lot of times. We have to pick like what side of the family you're gonna go see because you
But we
know.
just we just it just goes through the whole week. Like I was supposed to go. I wanted to go today, but for some reason the people like my kids, like the music and all this, like they're still having classes and stuff. My daughter has some stuff with school. I was like, what's going on, man? It's just like, dude, I thought because I wanted to go back and then you get to meet everybody and then of course Thanksgiving you get the turkey and then my mom made like turkey cholote or something like that, dude. It was amazing. And so what you do is all the
Man, that
leftovers,
sounds
you just
good.
yeah, it was like super tasty. And so, but they take all that food and then like over the days, right? They'll just mix it into other stuff and make it. So it's like you're eating something new every day. Dude, I
Oh,
fasted 2 days
T
before
wants to
Thanksgiving.
join, by the way. I don't mean to interrupt you. T's here.
Who's that?
He wants to get in.
Who?
T
T?
Reaper.
Oh yeah, T.
Yeah.
Hey T, hold on. T, I'm gonna send it to the both accounts I have for you. So whatever one you come in on. Yeah, I was playing COD with T. So that was good
Oh,
fun.
okay, that's good. You guys started up. So how was it? How has it been going? Has he been, have you been learning since T's showing you how to play?
Yeah, if it wasn't for him, I wouldn't have leveled up.
Oh, okay. Yeah. See, that's what's helping me with extraction. I have a friend helping me
Yeah.
learn the game because I had never played it before, and I got frustrated. So yeah, it's been going good since I had a friend who actually knows what they're doing. So,
Yeah.
but okay. I'm curious about the title. Okay, so Destin done said something stupid, and
Yes.
he doesn't. Let me
Hey,
guess. Let
five
me,
us.
let me guess. Don't tell me. He doesn't believe in the Xbox tax, right?
Yeah, that's what it was. That's
Okay, he's taking that Paris Lily position, which is not surprising. I told people that everybody who works for IGN do not expect them, to go up against their boss or go up against that company. They're not going to do it, and
well,
IGN is the biggest, so they're not going to do that.
I guess the biggest thing for me, and I'll even give Paris props. Paris knows what he's doing. Like he's not oblivious to what he's doing in a sense, right? I
He
understand.
just can talk circles around people. I've yet to see
Yeah.
anybody who can stand up to him
Yeah.
because I know what he does. He dismantles you with his words because he seems like he's kind, he has a good take and all that stuff. But if you're confident on what you believe and what you stand on, you need to just stand on it regardless of how he comes at you.
Right.
He's good at it though because I've seen him dismantle a lot of people.
I never really think of him as an Xbox guy, so that helps. But
he's
then,
not he's not he's not
but
he's not an Xbox. I can tell you that because when he talks about the games he really likes, they're on PlayStation.
yeah, yeah,
He'll pretend like you can tell those people who pretend like they like Xbox games. Like if you don't, that's okay. Okay, if you like the Xbox but you like different type of games, that's okay too. Some people on Xbox may like a third party game the best. Some type of third party. Now, you never know. Xbox might end up owning them one day, but but it could be some third party game. Like let's say it's a Capcom game that's your all time favorite. That's okay. You do not have to like an Xbox game on Xbox as your all time favorite in order to play on an Xbox. I don't I don't think that's fair to demand that of anybody, especially if they haven't always been with Xbox.
right.
But some people might like a PC game like Counter Strike. Counter Strike is very popular on PC, right? So that might be your all-time favorite game. Okay. So that's okay. But you may still like and enjoy having an Xbox and being a part of the ecosystem. I actually got lucky. I actually
But you may
drew
still like
I owned
and
a
enjoy having an Xbox.
PlayStation, but never was really drawn too much
I
to the
actually
first.
got
I
lucky.
can't hear
I
myself.
actually, but you may still.
Oh, hey T. Oh, sorry,
Okay,
T.
yeah, I was gonna say like, what the heck? Yeah, but it was only very few games I actually liked on PlayStation. I don't say that in order to be validated. It's the truth. I don't know why. I was never drawn to Spider-Man over there. Even though I had the game through a bundle, I never really played Uncharted. It was just something. I don't know what it was about their games that it's only ever been a few that I played and enjoyed. The only one I enjoyed was The Last of Us Part 1. Didn't like Part 2, so never even bothered with that one. And I'm still interested in playing Ghost of Tsushima if they put it on PC. That's it. To me, there's never been any other game I've been all that much drawn into. Whereas with Xbox, I was buying Xbox games before I had Game Pass.
Yeah.
So I own both my Oris are on Steam. I own Halo Master Chief Collection on Steam. I own Grounded on Steam. I was buying those games simply because I didn't even know Xbox even had those games. I had Minecraft for a long time, so that was a game I had. T, can you turn that sound down a bit?
Yeah, sure.
Thank you, I appreciate it. Yeah, so I owned a lot of games before I actually got Xbox Game Pass. That's how I know I like the way Xbox make their games because it had nothing to do about the platform. I was drawn to the games. Now that tells you everything if the games themselves are pulling you in. I just never tried Gears. That's why I'm curious to see it because it seemed like the type of game I would like. Um, in every way, I love the third person shooter games. I love those type of games. So
Yeah.
I just haven't tried it yet. So that's why I have in like you know, having somebody, a friend who can kind of help you around the ropes because this is gonna be my first time playing with Zink and Sega Man. So that helps. But yeah, I know I like Xbox games not because I make myself like it. It's just I like it. Like Halo, it has great gameplay, but I love Halo for the lore. Like it's incredible. Like I always wanted to see like Halo done um like I don't mean like not a movie because it's too much story before Halo to ever be put in a movie, in my opinion, unless it's done like Marvel or something, where you have different, like it's stretched out over a period of time. Because Halo is like so deep. But I always envision my perfect Halo story told like a war story. Like if you guys ever used to watch like those World War II stories or Vietnam stories where you from the perspective of a soldier and how bloody and how uh, violent the war can be, but that you had these personal stories like within the war. And then in my mind, when you hear about Master Chief is like this ultimate hero that everybody strives to be like. Every soldier who signs up in some little tiny way think in their head that they're helping the overall cause and in some way maybe helping Master Chief. This is my like ultimate vision. I have this thing in my head. I would love to see, like, if I could ever write a story or make the perfect Halo story, it would be like that. But it would be a lot of. It would be from like it wouldn't just be Master Chief either. It would be different perspectives from the war, from inside the military, from outside the military. Like how was this war affecting people from different angles? Within the wars going on in Halo and stuff, and you can and from the human perspective because I want it to seem like because the humans were losing, right? So I like that perspective that you're in a bad way, and so people at their lowest have to come together and fight together for this cause, or you won't survive. Those are some of the greatest stories, and that's my dream story for Halo. Like I have this thing in my head, so you can imagine when I saw the TV show, it fell very short of what I wanted. You know, it was more stylized. It was it's not as gritty and grounded as I wanted it to be. But I did enjoy it for what it was. But I don't want it to take that. I want a story one day to really ground Halo like that because that's what it feels like to me. That these stories are real, and even though yes, it's set in space and all that, honestly, it's a war story. That's what it is. When you remove all of that, that's what it is at the end of the day, and that's what I like about Halo. I think it's just some great storytelling in there, and that's what I love the most about Halo. So that's why I'm a big Halo fan, and yeah, I can't wait for the next campaign because I want to know more about the story. And now, I've kind of ventured out more to learn more about the other side and what's happening with the alien side, and that's even intriguing from a sci-fi perspective. So, I know that's a long spiel, but that's my that's what I like about Halo. But as you can see, I can communicate to you why I like those games. I can
Yes.
tell you I like the story of this game. Grounded it takes me back to my childhood. Um, Honey, I Shrunk the Kid. I know everybody said that, but for me, it's real because that was a movie I saw with my dad. And I know you guys have probably heard me say this many times. You can tell my dad kind of like structured my life,
Right.
and that was one of those movies I watched with him, and just when that was at an age when I used to imagine a lot, and I like adventures, and that was like one of those early movies that I watched as a kid where the kids was like having the adventures and the parents was caught up in. I don't know, it was something about that movie I liked a lot. When you're a kid, you don't always understand why you like it. I was just so entertained by it, and it was so unique at the time for me. So when I play Grounded, I think about the experiences I had when I watched that movie with my father, and so that's why I like that game so much. And they did such a good job. Oh man, Obsidian did such. I wished they was recognized for that game. I really do, and that's why I was a little frustrated too. That Baldur's Gate, I don't doubt that that's a good game. I've never said that it wasn't. I didn't play it. I'm just saying that if that many people are saying it was a good game, then I gotta believe they did a lot of things right, right? But
The only problem I have with Baldur's Gate is I find it hard to believe that many people played the game because that is
yeah,
cool.
well, we know a lot of Xbox people didn't, right?
Well,
You know,
I mean, just in general, because what to me, this is why I believe the narrative. To Destin's the Xbox tax things. Destin. Here's another
right,
point I make. Right, it's a Dungeons and Dragons game. Okay,
right,
I
right.
said this before, I'll mention it here. When Stranger Things hit, that was one of the few times that, in fact, they got my daughter and her friends playing. They still play it to this day.
Dungeon and Dragon. Yeah, and I played games, board games. Like I mean,
Yeah.
dice games like that. I'm sorry.
Oh no, no problem.
hmm
Yeah, so what happened is they still continued. The majority of the people that jumped on board with them are gone, right?
That yeah,
Because what happens is they see it as popular, they think it looks cool, but then you play it,
and
right?
it's an involved game because because it's not what they're used to unless you grew up in that era where you play games like that, which I did. I
Yeah.
did play games like that. So
Well, my daughter's on the creative side, so they do the whole. You need a good dungeon master, right? You gotta
yes, you
understand,
do. Yeah,
and plus the
absolutely.
way the dynamic is with her friends, it works out that way, right?
Okay, yeah,
So
and you play with one team for a long time because eventually, it's not like you rotate that. You create your team. The people you play with. I'm saying, and
at
then you
its,
tend to
yeah,
stick with them for like years.
yeah, and that's the kicker. So at its core, right? This is why people play RPGs, video games, because the computer, the game itself, does all the heavy lifting for you.
It's the dungeon master, right? Yeah,
Yeah,
it's doing that.
the
Yeah.
dungeon master, but even more so, right? And I see this all the time because I'll be playing Warhammer, and there's some people you play with, and then you look at their stuff, and you're like, we'll probably get dusted, right? Because we're at a certain level, and this person, when I look at their stuff,
Yeah.
is not made to the level. So, or not that we'll get dusted, but I'm like, okay, I'm gonna help. I'm gonna have to help this dude out
Right.
when we play, right? Now, that's not to say I'm against that because he probably just wants to play and have fun, and I have no problem with that because there's people
hmm
way better than me. There's a level
Right.
I don't go to because I don't want to be a burden to other people. So my point
Yeah.
is, once Stranger Things started to die down and all these things went quiet, and this is what I'm saying about Baldur's Gate because I look at that game and I know how Baldur's Gate is, and I'm
It's
like, oh,
sweaty. I'll just put
yeah,
it that
it's
way.
very.
It's
Thank you.
very sweaty. Yeah.
That's a perfect word to use. Because I'm looking at this, I'm like, there is no way that a lot of these people, these because the generation, like my daughter, them is a little bit different, but the generation of kids that are playing the games, they don't have the time or the attention or focus to play this game.
Exactly.
I'm not saying that there aren't people that are loving this game and that because it's a throwback. It's like me playing Modern Warfare again with T.
Mm-hmm.
Me and T was jumped in there and it was like old school. You know, it was fun. I even liked all the trash talking in the chat. I had my headphones on and people was talking crap to me and I was just laughing. I was like, you know, and I said something like, "I missed this, guys. I missed this," and everybody laughed in the group. You know, even the guy who was talking trash to me because I went 6-25, right? And he's like, "Oh, Sega, man, you suck. You suck ass, man." And I'm like, "Yeah." And he goes, and then one guy, like he said that to me, he's like, "Oh, you suck, dude." And I'm like, "Yeah, I know, but you know what's really sad? I killed you 3 times." And then everybody in the chat was like, "Oh, you know." This is what we grew up with, man. You have to have thick skin to play in these groups, man. And I'm not saying that I want to bring back the hardcore. You know, look, man, we all know that Microsoft had it. This is why the band hammer was created, right? You know, I've been called some choice. I've been called a coconut and a pineapple, which was fine with me because I'm like, is that all you got? Because I could, you know, there's 100 other words I could call some other people. But I'm not saying to go back to them, but it's just that camaraderie that you had. You actually build friendship with some people by somebody just hating.
Exactly.
Mm-hmm.
But anyway, sorry, I didn't mean to derail you. Yeah,
No. I mean, that's I don't have a problem with people who's never done that playing Baldur's Gate and they say, "Wow, that's a good game." I mean, I had a time to beat this game if it's 100 some hours or whatever. That's fine because you know what I think Heba said the same thing that he doesn't have time to play.
All right, there we go.
Oh, yeah,
welcome back, T.
Hey, T.
What's up, T Reaper?
Hey, I maxed myself out, so I'm a level 55.
Yeah, that's why I wasn't gonna let you in.
Yeah.
I was playing with him on COD.
Are you surprised? This is T Reaper. I was expecting him to be done ages ago.
Oh, so T, we were playing, right? Oh, they make it. It was you have to grind. So I'm playing with this dude, right? And so I was like, what was that, T? I was like 42, and you were like 34, 30. So you were down by like 10 grades of me. I had jumped 4, and this dude was almost on me.
Wow.
Yeah, and that's why T. I wasn't actually I was thinking about not putting you in this group because I knew you were going to tell me that. Because I was busy, T. I couldn't jump back on COD. In fact, I was playing Warhammer because I could just jump in and out.
Yeah, no. I went back on Halo and I got to level 2, so I was actually pretty happy.
Oh, good. It was fun playing with you.
I heard that's been fire, boy. Halo. And wait till Firefly comes out.
Oh yeah, I'm gonna jump back on. I was planning on doing it today. I don't know. We'll see. I didn't know my kids had actual school stuff to do today. I was like, oh, dude, it's Thanksgiving, man. You guys are crazy. But T was running around with the rocket launcher and pissing people off.
Oh.
I was like, you saved me. T. I was like, T, was that you? He's like, yeah. He's all nonchalant about it, taking people out. I thought I did good on 1, and then I saw it. Then he was above me by 2. I got I didn't die as much, and then I think I had 20, right, T? And then you had like 27 or something.
Yeah.
I was like,
no, I was actually in a Rust match, and this kid dropped a nuke, and it ended the entire match.
Oh, you can do that? Oh, they brought it
do
back?
that. So this guy went 113, and he went ham, and he dropped a nuke, and it ended the entire match in one shot.
What did everybody say? Was everybody on chat?
No, everybody was just like, well, it was just in awe that the screen went black with the nuke, and it had a special effect and everything. It was actually really cool.
Oh man, I wish you recorded that. That'd been funny to watch.
Yeah, but he dropped the nuke and it ended the entire match.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure it happened multiple times with these dudes. Some of these dudes that are playing now, you can tell they came back too. I think one of the advantages I had was because I knew the map more than other people, but that disappeared real fast. There's some of these dudes are just so fast on that trigger, man.
Yeah.
And they do little stuff like I pull out my gun, and I got them dead to rights, and then I start shooting, and they just slightly turn to the left, and I'm like, oh,
it's already over.
Yeah, I'm like, oh, you little.
Yeah.
Like, I wanted to yell at the dude like, stand still, let me kill you. I'm an old man.
Yeah.
Respect your elders. But,
but until they add the new prestige system, I can't play anymore. So it's like
it's supposed to be
I'm all captain shit. So it doesn't go any higher.
Well, you know, I don't really care for Jez Gordon, but they did have a good article on Windows Central talking about what's coming.
What? He had a good article?
Yeah, well, it was basically running down COD by the numbers, right? It wasn't his opinion.
Oh, okay. I see you sticking to real journalism, right?
Yeah, real actual gaming stuff that they were
Mhm.
talking about. Just him the inside scoop, and he was talking about they have a map coming out called Neat, which sounds really cool. It's going to be kind of like how we play Rust and the Shipyard one, which is fun. I love those smaller maps because it's just constant chaos.
Right. Yeah.
I actually have a build just for that map where I have a rocket launcher and I have my LMG, and I just sit back and get people, man, and people get pissed off and they come hunting for you. I've had guys where like my whole team, like if you want a bunch of kills, the team's on one side of the map, and that dude will specifically nuke me with the missile. He's like, "Oh, you prick," and boom, kill you. And I just sit there going, hey. But that's what makes COD what it is, man. Yeah, T, I had a lot of fun, man. We got to play again.
Yeah, we gotta play again.
Did Google play with you guys? Wasn't it Google Paul who was joining you? Google, have you been playing other things? It looks like you have.
Gogo is your Gogo's gamer tag is Slayer, right?
It's different. I don't want to shout it.
Oh yeah, it's yeah.
It's different. Yeah.
Well, we're T. That was your
Because
friend.
I thought that same thing and I
Yeah.
almost added the wrong person. Yeah.
Well, they'll play, man. I'm down. If you guys want to Sega Forever, man, just like all in caps, SEGA4EVA. If you guys want to throw down.
He said though he was playing some zombies. Do you guys play that?
Yeah, so that's what I wanted to play with T then. But T was cool because like I ain't gonna lie, dude, I'm old, man. So I was just stuck in this one mode, and then T, what were we playing? Like I don't know, we was playing like the melting pot thing or whatever, and it was just
Yeah, we were playing Terminal.
Terminal, yeah. But then we were in this one where but all the matches were different.
Yeah, we were playing Mosh Pit.
Yeah, Mosh Pit, thank you. Yeah. See, that's how old I am. I forgot. Yeah, that was fun, dude. And it's like our teams are pretty good, man. Like we got smoked a couple times, but overall, we pretty much work good together.
I'm glad you guys are playing. You know what? See, this is what I like to hear. You telling me how you having fun, how your games are going. That's what I like to hear. I get sick of hearing these people complain about a game and a pixel was out of place and all this stuff. Where I want to hear, are you playing the games? Are you having fun? You know.
And next year's COD goes straight to Game Pass.
I heard that.
Yeah.
Well,
and I was like,
wow, we are living good, and that is the awesome part about being an Xbox gamer. Is
now see if that was in Game Pass now, I'd be playing with you, T, and I'd be I don't even play COD, but I played that with y'all. I play with zombies or something like that. I'll be playing with that with y'all now because I'm not gonna pay for it because I don't play COD. That's too much money for me.
That's why Game Pass is such a big thing. I know people, and this is the funny thing about all of this stuff, because as soon as that deal went through, everything, I mean, just more stuff just fell apart for these guys, right? Because it is a big deal. Like we've been talking.
But that's gonna be huge though, because you guys do play COD. We know T plays it, Google plays it, you play it for sure. Dude, and now you don't have to pay $70 anymore.
But here's the dirty little secret there. It's just like Forza, right? It's just like Zink was saying, right? Zink, like these guys go buy it, right? You're gonna have your core audience that actually goes buy the game.
That's true.
On top of the people,
Forza. I like Forza so much. I just want to own the thing. Yeah.
I'm not gonna lie. Even I was shocked. I know Zink talked about it in that light, but until I actually saw it. And then I did the same thing with Starfield. I went and bought that.
That's true. It happened with Starfield. So I thought the Forza thing was a fluke until Starfield came. Because Starfield, I think, may have sold more in that period. I don't know what they call that, pre-release period. I don't know what they call that.
Oh yeah.
When you pay the extra cost and you get 5 days early. What is that called? For Xbox? I don't know.
Yeah,
it's like that pre-launch period or something. It's not the official launch until after that 5 days or whatever. But it was more people who bought Starfield that way. And I was like, everybody knows the Game Pass now is not a question, but they still bought it. They sold a lot in that.
You want to hear a dirty secret, right? People will buy the game, but they'll probably play it in Game Pass as well because it's just an option to have it. Like I did that with
Redfall. Yes, Redfall.
Yeah.
This was before I really understood because it took Hebot to tell me that if I buy a game through Microsoft, that I can use it for both the console and the PC. I didn't know that at the time. I had already bought the game, and I said, wait a minute. I said, I wanted to be able to use it on PC just in case. And then he said, oh, do you know you can do both? And I was like, what? I can't. I didn't know that. I didn't know that. So I messed up with Redfall. But because I have it on Game Pass, I ended up because when Redfall first released, it had more issues on the PC side of things than it did
Yes. Yes.
on the believe it or not, through Game Pass and on the console. The Game Pass part was more stable than the Steam PC one. That was the most unstable. So I started playing. I formed my own game through PC Game Pass, and man, I had no problems after that.
Yeah.
None. And so I just kept playing. I was so happy I had that as an option, you know. So I kind of avoided my PC, I mean my Steam copy, and just started like, and because of crossplay, it didn't make a difference.
Yeah.
So and
Like for,
that's how I learned though. But yeah, sometimes I just wanted to let y'all know. Sometimes things can be different. Even though it's the same game, it can be different from Steam to the console and all that. Yeah, it can be different. I didn't know that.
yeah, that's why I think that Microsoft pushes the options things a lot, and then of course the
Hmm.
engagement and the ecosystem thing.
Yep.
So I'm gonna read Shinzo's thing because I think it's a good point.
Okay.
I'm not a good debater, but I'm not gonna let them try to tell me I'm not seeing what's there. Yeah, Shinzo,
There you
100%.
go. Yes. It's
And,
just
and that's what it is. And getting back to Destin and all that kind of stuff. That's why. Look, I'll put it to you guys this way, right? If you want to, if you want to know something, right, you go to somebody that knows what they're talking about, maybe an expert, or at least somebody that participates. Like if you want to, say, like you, there's a lot of this fitness stuff going around, right? So my daughter is getting into it, and so I go to people online that people trust to give you good information on how to get to. If you have a specific body type and where you want to get to as far as your weight and that's it, there's specific people out there that you can go and follow that'll show you how to get it done.
how to do it right.
Right. And this is across the board with anything in life. So why aren't games the same? Like why would you listen to these guys? For everything Destin and stuff like that. Anytime I see somebody that's look, and I'm not trying to say, I'm just being honest. Unless you're a hardcore gamer, man. But most people that own multiple consoles, right, they have a bias and they favor one or the other.
That's true. Whether they pretend they don't. Yeah, I agree with that.
Yeah, and that's not necessarily a bad thing. But when I was
Nope.
growing up, it was different. Everybody just loved games, just like comic books. Like when I read Marvel, I also read DC. Though my passion was Marvel, but a good story and good art, and
Hmm.
maybe an artist or even a writer that you like might have switched because that's what they would do. Marvel, they would all jump side. This is why I like the new guys, right? Because the new guys is Kirby.
Yep.
And Kirby was, and this is why some people now in the universes they're like, wow, that when they did the Eternals, they're like, wow, that kind of looks like the new guys. What's going on there? I'm like, yeah, they come from the same.
Yeah,
Right,
same.
because-
Yeah.
And so if you were truly a comic book dude, you couldn't hate something. Like I just was look, dude, I was a hater because DC was bigger. That's the whole point about it. Right? They had Superman. That used to irritate me. So, but at the same time, I'm a comic book guy. So if he's over there, or if somebody's writing something like Marv Wolfman, who had good runs at DC and stuff like that, so I read
Right.
it. That was
Right.
okay.
Yeah. You
So
want good
that's
stories at the end of the day. That's all comics are. Is really good stories, right?
well, that's how gaming used to be. So when somebody was a multi-console owner, they just love games, so you could trust them. You can't do that
That's
anymore.
true. And they were greedy. They wanted it all. They would like if it's a game they're interested in, they just want access. It's not about the console. I will admit, and I'm gonna be honest, I'm gonna lay it on the line. I do believe Xbox is the best console because of the features. It's not, I like the games better, but the features. Who doesn't like the features that the Xbox Series X and S offer you? You know, I,
Yeah.
I mean, I wish some of those features was on PC. I'm not gonna lie. I'm telling the truth here. So will I praise it for some of the features that I like? Yeah. But it could be some people who have a PlayStation who like that controller, and they might really be in love with that controller.
Mhm.
That's fair
Yeah,
too,
that's fair. That's fair. Yeah, that's very fair.
Yeah.
That,
Yeah.
that's why I think it's fair. Like if it's something that a particular console is doing as far as on their hardware that you enjoy, that's another good thing. I like the ecosystem of Xbox. It supports me on PC and stuff to where now it's seamless for me.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
that's what I like.
Yeah,
So
my thing has always been just be honest. That's all I ask from you. Like if they are honest, it wouldn't bother me as much. But people like Destin, they just play that stupid fake neutral card where they pretend they care, they like them all, and I could just tell that you don't. So why even pretend otherwise? That's why it drove me crazy when a year ago Destin said it, and he literally said, I'm the Xbox fanboy," and I'm like, "What?"
he did, and
Everybody was like, "Excuse you."
and
Yeah.
remember when I was
And
talking when
he's
me and
saying that
T.
like he spent the sorry, Dea.
No, I'm
He
sorry, I didn't
said
mean to cut you off.
He said that like he spent the last 10 years defending Xbox the way we did, or the playing Xbox. I'm like, dude, you're a public figure in the gaming community. We know what games you like. We know what games you've been praising. The Xbox fanboy. You know, it's stuff like that is why I'll never embrace them like that. You know, I can't embrace guys like Dad the way I mean, not Dad, Destin. I can't embrace people like Destin the way I did Daya, Sega Forever, and T Reaper here, because y'all keep it real. I mean, T Reaper, he comes in and say, "Look, I maxed out on Halo a week after it came out."
Yeah, and you believe
my
him.
homie, my homie T Reaper beat Assassin's Creed Mirage in one sitting, and it blew me away. Blew me away. I'm out here questioning if I'm a real gamer after what he did, man. Right? So,
and the way T says it too.
It's like a no big deal. Yeah, I just got through this.
Right.
What?
So I'd be like, T, I'm drowning over here, man. I can't figure it out.
Right. Hey, but I got to step away for a few minutes, man. For some reason, I've been having so many technical issues, and it's driving me crazy.
Is
So
it
that's why I've been so damn quiet. Because when I stream, I do it off the PC, but this damn thing's giving me a headache lately, Daya. So I'll be right back, Sega Forever.
Yeah, no worries, man.
Yeah, I know he was having problems with that PC before.
Yeah, last week I just thought he didn't want to talk anymore. Nah,
yeah, that's not usually like unlimited, especially over a topic. You know, he ain't gonna just stay quiet over this Xbox text.
Oh yeah.
And as far as Destin concerned, I had said this, you know, when you, me, and T was on that one day, and I said Destin is caught between. He wants to placate to the Xbox gamers, which he had a lot on his side. Like I was looking at C Money and Doodle's stream. I think they had. I don't know if you watched them. They're really good. They're very good actually.
What podcast is it?
It's like, oh gosh, what's the name of that podcast? It's called. Hold on, let me try to find that. I forget the name of the podcast. I just joined them, but they're really good. I saw them before I joined their. What is it called? I saw it I think it was last night or something. It is. I'm trying to go back in my history and see what that is. I'm gonna have to look it up. I'll have to put it in.
Yeah.
I don't want to take up too much of your time looking for it. I looked at it last night and I can't find it now. But yeah, anyway, unfortunately, they were fooled by Destin. Oh, yeah, that's it. Thank you, Google phone. On Point for Gamers. That's what it's called. On Point for Gamers. They just recently been allowed to monetize their show. So they was doing their show for a while without monetization, and they've been recently allowed to do so. But
I hate Google so much. Even if I could, I wouldn't monetize. I can't. Anyway,
well, if you know, so but you know, the thing that broke my heart was that they either might not have been they knew about Destiny for long enough. They definitely was upset and disappointed in Destiny because they believed him when he said he was an Xbox gamer.
Who? Those guys?
Yeah, they did. Well, I know Doodle did. She said it. You know, that's his wife. So she you know, they podcast together. Okay. So she said that she thought that, you know, he was really a Xbox guy, and then turns out that he really, you know, isn't what he, you know, made himself out to be. You know, she thought that, you know, I think probably Destin's reporting during the ABK deal or something like that fooled some people. Like, I know what Destin is. I know who he works for and everything. And I always said he's an opportunist. He's not loyal to one or the other. He's an opportunist. That's it. You know, it's about the money for him. It's not about, you know, he probably even think the console wars are dumb. He's just monetizing it. You know, he doesn't care. But he works for IGN. He works for a fanatical man who hates Xbox. He has to toe the line, whether he likes it or not. Like, however he really feels, I don't even care. You know, like, I'm not going to try to get in his head and pretend like I really know what he actually thinks, because you can't believe anything he says. But what I can say is that because of the person he works for, he's already compromised, and you can't just accept anything he says off face value. This man said that he was going to punish Xbox just because they did something that they're legally allowed to do, which is acquire.
Yes.
You know, so he's punishing Microsoft for exercising a right, just like PlayStation has done, you know, and this is who he works for. Now, if Destin really had any principles, he would take the risk that comes with that and just leave IGN so he can be totally neutral. I told T that he has to make a decision. He can't straddle the fence.
Yeah, he can't. He can't act neutral. It's not
Yes, it's
working
not
for
going
him.
to work
It's
because
not working
IGN is
for
not going to let him do it. You
him.
know,
That's
and
why
that
the
guy,
next
He tries to act neutral, but it doesn't work.
no,
well, because then he does this Xbox tax video, right? And if you guys haven't had a chance, it's hard. It was hard for me to listen to because point by point that he gave only strengthened the whole thing with the Xbox tax, which I sat there listening to him because either you're ignorant or you're doing this on purpose. But either one is bad, right? I'm like, dude, you need to realize, especially if you're going to promote, and I never think of him as an Xbox guy. In fact, when he first said that, he got a lot of people just throwing that picture of him, the 980p versus 1080p,
right,
right back at his right back
right,
in 990 whatever the P was.
right. That would if he was really an Xbox guy, that wouldn't have mattered.
Yeah, that wouldn't
You
have
know what
mattered.
I'm saying? It wouldn't have mattered if you had the games that you enjoyed on that platform. That wouldn't have mattered.
And what's really
And
funny to me is like he talked about that kind of stuff. And fast forward to now, right? Because we all know the way Microsoft works when it comes to their systems, possibly to a fault, right? If we're being honest, as Xbox guys, right? They build the console that they feel the developers, because they talk to a lot of the people in the
they
industry.
do they with the developers in mind.
Yeah,
That
and then
yeah,
even the fans, but they were doing that since day one. I remember when they came in, dude, it was a big joke. Like Microsoft, I remember them coming in, and back then I was hardcore Sega, still am, but it was just a different time. So hardcore Sega. Then I saw like everybody's like, "Oh man, did you hear about Microsoft? Like they're gonna make a console," and then everybody's like, and even me, I was like, "What? They're gonna make a console?" And then the joke was like, "Oh, they can't even fix their Windows,"
yeah, I
like
heard that. I
and
remember.
all this stuff. Yeah,
Yeah,
that was a real thing at that time, and then they came
yeah,
into the industry. But I think, especially that's why I tell people you gotta watch that documentary that they did, right? Because when they came in with good intentions, and they tried that, and the great thing about 2023, where we are now, is that you see all of this stuff that they built actually, coming into play. So yeah, this thing,
right.
you the fact that you don't know this, the fact that we have to do this podcast talking about your podcast, and the fact that you're not cognizant of everything that's been going on for the last 10 years on the Xbox. I was a multi-console owner, especially when
Yeah, yeah,
Sega went because I wanted to play all their games, so I owned all the consoles.
yeah.
And it took that Xbox One tax, right,
For you
to
to
make me who
learn.
I am now. Because
Yeah.
because I went to GameStop, Destin, and they told me at GameStop we don't have any Xboxes here. Just go to the Microsoft store. Who does that, Destin? You're a gaming store that sells consoles, video games, controllers. This is your bread and butter. And the
I've
GameStop
gone
I
through the
went to,
same thing because they are not friendly to Xboxes. It was times that I looked into things there, and they steer you away from Xbox every time. And
well, for
you
me,
know,
they told me to go to another store. At Microsoft, I had no idea Microsoft had stores, and they opened one up on the first floor above where the GameStop was. And that guy told me, no, just go over there and buy it. Well, and that's then that GameStop is closed. They've been closed for years because
oh
they're
wow,
piss poor service because they're a gaming store, so they just need to sell games of
they
all.
need to sell games. Who
Yeah,
cares where it comes from? But see, they were console warring even at their job. This is
yeah.
this is the weirdest thing for about PlayStation people. Sometimes these, the hardcores. I'm not talking about the regular people, but I'm talking about the
No,
hardcores.
but it bleeds into the regular people because it forms like that's what people talks about all the time, the
Uh-huh,
perception, and
uh-huh.
then it bleeds into the narrative where people just assume that place. Like how many times have we heard like people like, oh, that's going to be on Xbox? I thought it was only a PlayStation.
Yeah, they don't know. Yeah,
Right.
half the time they don't even know. That's
Yeah.
true. Yeah.
And that's
And
the problem.
what they do is they praise Sony for the marketing, but no, but look, when the marketing is kind of deceptive like that,
Mhm.
I mean, and then they have the backdoor deal that doesn't allow Microsoft to let people know that they have it on their platform. That's wrong because it's hiding information from the consumer.
Yeah. So here's another thing, Dale, I'm glad you brought that up because, of course, when Microsoft does stuff, right, they're evil. They're just big corporation. Then all of
Mhm.
this stuff came out about what Sony was doing, and all these people was quiet. And that's why I would throw stuff at people like, wait a minute, I thought you didn't like corporate greed.
Right,
You know,
exactly,
I thought
exactly.
you didn't like dirty tactics.
Just
Well,
when just when the Japanese do it in the console arena, that's okay then, because I'm sorry, because without Microsoft, that's who's doing it. In my opinion, because right now, Apple and Google and all of them aren't really influencing the gaming market yet. None of them are really influencing it all that much yet. So you have to look at what the consoles are doing in Steam. Those, in my opinion, Steam um, and the consoles are really what influence gaming as far as in this area. What we talking about apart from mobile, we separate mobile is a whole different beast. But apart from that, that's who really influences things. Like Steam can move numbers,
Mhm.
um, Xbox can move numbers, PlayStation and Nintendo. Those are the ones that move numbers and what and they don't seem to have no problem. Just look, when Nintendo can sell you cardboard and then the media claps and like seals and parade around like they happy and stuff,
Yeah.
then you know that we're in some trouble. Again, anytime Nintendo or Sony, it's perfectly fine that they do it. You know, and I'll tell you another thing. I think that sometimes people have perceptions of the Japanese. They think they're so nice about everything and that they do all that stuff. Look, they're people. What do they think they are? Inanimate objects or something? That they're people. They act. No, we're not no better or worse than they are in the same with them. They got some greedy people in their businesses as well, and they will do wherever it takes. Might be more so accepted even in their country than over here. They'll try it, you know and they don't care about us as much as we do about them because they're very much about their country, and I'm not saying that's a right or wrong thing, but I think it's wrong from a people perspective. I think it's wrong from a consumer perspective. These people are giving you your money trusting that you will give them good service in return. They should be well cared for. That's how I feel any business should treat people.
Well,
um
but the thing about it is too is just for me is like when I listen to the people on our side so
mhm,
passionate about that, people in Japan don't
right,
care. It's just a different culture. They gain differently. It's all of that kind of stuff. It's the people here that I have the hardest problem. It's the same thing like the jokes on about weeaboos and stuff like that.
yeah,
Like they're so in tune to the culture, but they're not of that culture,
right.
right? That kind
Or
of
they
stuff. So,
pretend to be a part of it, and
and you can love something, you can like something, you can get into it, dude. I'm a nerd. I mean, I know how it's like, how it is and
mhm,
stuff like
yeah,
that. But when you sit there and you shill, right, for companies, and you have no idea what the company's about. Like Japan,
right.
I don't have a problem with Japan's business practices because it's Japan, right? And
I
then,
do when it affects me.
well, for me, what I do, and this is what I try and tell people, right, is I just don't participate, right?
Yeah,
Because
well,
that's
that's yeah.
yeah, because they have a certain type of mindset, like the stuff that they do. It would offend me, right? Because I believe they lie and they do stuff like that, but they don't
Right.
look at it that way. They look at it as business, right? And that's their stuff. So in other words, it's like if you, it's just like I'm gonna get a little political, guys, but I just want to make a point here. It's just like when we in America look like someplace in the Middle East, right? And then we say, oh man, these like women there or children or the people there don't have these type of freedoms. That's kind of bad because we look at it from our perspective, not assuming that they want to be like us. You see what I'm saying? In a
Um,
sense, like everybody wants, like for me, like as our country, right? But that's the thing is that we grew up with that, but not everybody grew up with that. And when you try and introduce that to different types of cultures and stuff like that, it doesn't work out because that's
o-
not how they function. Like,
okay,
say,
I
okay,
agree with that to a point. And here's what I want to interject before I lose this thought.
yeah,
There are certain things that are just universal. There's no changing it. I don't care how we want our perception to change it. I think I mentioned this before.
yeah,
This is something that's going to offend people, but this is a fact. A woman is a woman. She's never going to be a man. She can't be stronger than a man. She can't be a man even on a biological level. That is a fact. I don't care how much you want to change that. I don't care how much you don't like that. That's a fact, right? So no matter how much we want something to be a certain way, there's certain truths out there. There's certain principles that I don't care what you say your culture says is okay, I'm going to disagree with. So say you say it's okay to marry a child. I'm not going to agree with it because
yes,
I don't believe children can make a decision like that. In
mhm,
my perspective, that's pedophilia, and I'm never going to budge on that. Okay,
right,
so just because you hide behind what your culture do, because there was a lot of egregious things that have been in the name of culture throughout history,
oh yeah, definitely,
doesn't make it right. Now, as far as lying, I've never seen any culture where unless you was like in immediate danger or something like that. Say you were in the Holocaust, and if you didn't lie, the people that you were shielding or hiding, and some bunch of
mhm,
Jews or some in your home would die. That's acceptable because of the conditions, and that's a unique case. But if you go around lying to people all the time, people who have good faith in you, that's wrong. and there's no amount of culture that's going to make me believe that that's okay. So from the perspective, this isn't from an American perspective. This is from a human perspective, right? So if what they're doing is harming other people, whether it's, they're stealing more money out of their pocket when these people would gladly do business with them if they were just fair and open, right? A lot of these people love Sony. Okay,
Mhm.
they're okay with doing business with them. They don't have to go to such lengths where they're deceiving these people, and honestly in some cases harming them by stealing all this money from them, and like making it unsafe to be on their platform. I mean, you don't know when the next time they're going to get hacked. They don't even share the information with the people. I'm a victim of that, by the way. They
Yeah.
held that information, when that first hack happened. I
Mhm.
didn't know. I had to go scramble around protecting my identity, which could have ruined me and ruined my family. And this is something that they held back because they were protecting themselves. They didn't care about me. So there's limits to this stuff, in my opinion. I get what you're saying. You're absolutely right when it comes to certain things like should women, like maybe they're more traditionalist, like they believe in marriage and that the man has seniority or something like that, or maybe they're a society where the elders have more power than the younger people or something like that. I get that. That's a cultural thing at that point. But when it comes to something that can harm people, that's where I draw the line. I say no. You can't there's nothing you can tell me that says that this is okay just because your culture does it.
Yeah. So
Yeah.
I'll just push back a little bit on that because
Okay, go ahead.
I too was suffered from that as well,
The
especially the original
PlayStation
one.
thing?
Yeah.
Okay. Okay.
So much so that I had to delete all my stuff, and then I just created I switched to another bank as well.
Okay. Yeah.
But here's the thing: fool me once, right?
Right? Yeah.
The reason why I have no sympathy for most of the Sony people that get affected now is because also when this happened, right? The
Hmm.
narrative for Xbox was that we have crappy online service. What? Because no, the narrative for Xbox was we pay, and on the PlayStation side we don't have to pay.
Yeah, I
Why
remember
are you
that.
getting
Yeah.
charged? And I know this. I know the PC guys was even saying this kind of stuff, right?
They
Um,
were. Oh, well,
yeah,
yeah,
people
PC
on the
owners.
PC because you don't pay, right?
Yeah.
But there, and then we would say, well, there's a reason why you don't pay. So I get my point is, and I'm not disagreeing with you. My point is this: is that you can only help Sony people so much. Like when I listen to Sony people and how they shill, and I'm talking about the ponies. These people
Right.
will shill for this company no matter what they do, no matter how many times they hurt. These guys will be mad about it. Do a video maybe. Some of them might
Yeah,
like
you're
cry,
right.
like MBG. Like people are sharing stuff on Twitter,
Yeah.
and he was crying about the lack of first party,
Game.
which blew my mind
Yeah.
because like, dude, it's always been this way. It's just that you don't have the third party to back the guys up anymore.
Exactly.
But
Exactly.
but I will say this though, at some point in time, right? So my point is for me when it came to Sony because I was hardcore like music, their movies, all of that stuff, but more on the electronic and the big business side. But
Right.
then at some point I realized that then I separated myself away from them, right? And at
Okay.
some point these guys do. I mean, look, I'm going to be really mean here. These guys, both the ponies and Sony, they deserve each other because they both listen to each other's lives, right?
Right.
Like the Sony guys, like the Sony corporation right now, as far as PlayStation is like, okay, we need gas games, right? Because we need to make money.
Yeah. Yeah.
Now, had the fans been honest, if I'll put it to you this, and I say this all the time, if the Sony ponies would worry more about Sony than Xbox, it would
Yes.
be a better ship, better
Yes,
shape.
they could be improving that. And then if let's if I was a person who liked to own all consoles if I could, but I can't. Like you said, like a smart person leaves. I did leave PlayStation for that
Yeah,
reason.
yeah,
I did do that, and I don't even own one to this day.
yeah. Me
You
either.
know,
I never will. And that's just one. Like, there's many reasons why I don't own a PlayStation, but that's
yeah, but it's
when it hit me that like you said, like once you have identity, because I had identity theft, dude, and
yes, it's a
you have to
horrible
agree
thing
to
to go through.
it
Yeah,
is right, and especially and then I was like, dude, well, my only saving grace was like, well, sucks for you, bro, 'cause I don't have money. I don't know, and I don't have a footprint, so whatever, it is what it is.
you
But
said they go rob a broke man, huh?
but like you're saying, right? I do sympathize. I will say I do sympathize for somebody that's just coming in and don't know anything, and then
Don't know.
they get
Yeah,
caught up in it.
yeah,
And this is how we get some of the people on the Xbox side. There's people on Twitter right now that actually didn't know, right? And all they did was say, "Well, oh yeah, I'm gonna go play Starfield," because they occupy a space where, and some of them like PlayStation more. and they occupy that space. But what ended up happening was the PlayStation guys, like dude, that one guy, I forget what his name is because he's like a pony to me, right?
Okay.
And then he went and got Starfield, and then his whole like his fan base, because he had a pretty big fan base. I forget his name, Urban something, I think it was. No, I know if I thought I'd think of his name, but he's pretty big in the community. But they turned on him, dude, and then he even was like, "Wow, I didn't expect it to be like this." I'm like,
Yep.
"Welcome to the party, bro."
Yep,
Right?
exactly. He didn't see it from that perspective before, you
Yeah,
know.
until it happened to him. Unfortunately, that's what like in this country right now, right? People are like, "Damn, I'm paying a lot of money for this stuff." Like when
Right.
when it hits you personally, that's usually when you wake up.
That's when it happens, exactly. You know.
But for guys like us, we kind of knew this was going on. This is why we not we not in shock and all. Like with Destin, again, I know it'd be hard for you guys to watch the video. It was a little bit hard for me. I had to do it over a couple.
Man, I'll be so mad. I'm already upset at this Xbox tax thing, so I don't want to hear. I know why Destin's doing it. I know why Pierce is doing it because they're journalists and they're afraid that right now they thought this backlash would flare up and then disappear. And it's not. It's not going anywhere. People are still holding this according. And IGN is on the top of the list. People now look at them with a side eye. They have no credibility in the minds of a lot of people out here. And this time, I think they went one step too far because it wasn't just Xbox that was affected by this, but Hogwarts Legacy, a game that has become the best-selling game this year. And them people love that game. And I can tell you that you messing around with Harry Potter fans now, so you done brought them into the mix.
And they're making a second one too.
Yes, I heard that. So what are they going to do? Shun that too? Because the woman who
they're going to add multiplayer and they're going to add Quidditch to it.
Okay, yep. So what is IGN and all of them going to do then? This is just the tip of the iceberg. They've been doing this, but this was a time. This is probably the worst combination of them. First off, the ABK thing goes through. They really hit Xbox hard. They mess with the Bethesda fans, which span over to PC, and now they're messing with the Harry Potter fans, which actually spans the whole board. You got Harry Potter fans that's even a part of PlayStation. So now these people are not happy about this because look, this game was the best-selling game this year. You can't deny those facts. People continue to buy that game. It kept it on top. Over all of the big titles, we had an incredible year for games, and this game is number one. Okay. And it went through all that fire, tested, true. Nobody talked. It wasn't like Baldur's Gate, and that Baldur's Gate had a messed up third part or whatever, third chapter. And all. Hogwarts was sound, and they got completely ignored. And now people see that the Game Awards is political, and that it has nothing to do with the merit of the developers and all that. Then you add that on when Rare did something that is a big taboo. The developers are supposed to pretend that all of this is okay, but Rare was emotionally affected by this and said, "What we get ignored and stuff." So now you're starting to see what's really happening, behind the curtain, like the Wizard of Oz. You're getting to see, and this is not going away easy. This is why the Paris Lilies have been out there on a tour trying to defend the media, because the media understands what this means is that their credibility. They've been able to mask people and say, "Oh, it's just our opinion, it's just it," but they're losing the narrative, and so they're trying to defend themselves now. They're trying to defend because I mean, think about this. They need people to stay blind to what they really are and what they're doing. And they realize that they went one step too far this year. And this hasn't gone away. Xbox people are still talking about, we don't care about what you say about us. You can call us a conspiracy theorist. Doesn't matter. We still talking about it. We still gonna keep reminding people this. It's not going away. And the people for Harry Potter and the Harry Potter fans, they're not gonna let it go either. People are reminding you this had nothing to do with Xbox, and look at what they did to this game. There's no game that's safe. They get to pick and choose what games get recognized and which ones don't.
It's funny because you're exactly right. It's not going to go away because Destin's actually having a live broadcast about the Xbox tax. Right. So he's having people coming.
You know why I wouldn't do that? Because it's his platform. He needs to be on one where you got another opposing voice.
Yeah, so what he's doing is he's bringing on the Xbox guys. So I think Post Up was on there. I saw Chaos Lounge was on there. So he's bringing on guys to talk about it, maybe to get some more understanding. But like you're saying, this is all falling apart. Because the funny thing about it is that they also picked on another sacred cow, which was COD, right?
They did. That's true.
Because most, let's be honest, T. Like, let's be honest, man. Most COD people don't care about much of anything.
No, they never pay attention.
Hitting level 55, right? That's the big thing.
I was even saying, man, COD needs to just go ahead and say, we had a good. Not that they was doing anything bad, but just it was a long running series. I was like, well, they can make a new shooter or something. Like, no, man, the COD people want COD, so I'm like, okay, if they want COD,
yeah, and Golf War is coming to Game Pass, so it's like
Yes.
it doesn't matter to the COD fans anymore. It's gonna be free. So
yep, and that's gonna make it even worse because now people who might have had that price barrier won't have that problem anymore. They can afford at least getting Game Pass just to have access to it every year.
But
have those costs every year.
But the main point being, like to your point, Dea, is that they're touching these sacred cows now.
Yes,
and I love it. I love it personally because this is what needs to happen. Look, it took over a decade. Well, I'll say like 5 years for Marvel now to start. Like you see people coming out now in the media on the entertainment side, which would shill for Marvel and Disney because of access, because of they like the message and all this kind of stuff that Marvel and Disney pushes, right? But even they now, after the Marvels is released, they have to come out and say, look, we have a problem.
Yes,
is what they're saying, right? And that's what it takes, right? In fact, I wasn't even gonna do this last night. I wanted to do a podcast, but I fell asleep because I eat too much. I wanted to do this podcast called the Petty Podcast, which I was going to talk about Marvel, how great it is for me right now because of Marvel and Xbox or Marvel and Sony. What's going on with both of those companies?
They collapsing, man.
Yeah, they collapsing. So I was going to do a Petty Podcast, right? But I didn't get a chance to do it. And then I did this only because, again, Destin's coming up.
He's
showing this kind of stuff, right? And I'm like, dude, if you can't read the tea leaves, brother, there is no hope for you right now. Just be who you are. Be that middle of the road, wishy-washy type of.
Well, that's not going to help him with those new Xbox people he got because now they're waking up. I told you about what Doodle said.
Oh
and, she wasn't aware. So I'm thinking like the people who didn't know that subscribed to him and was thinking that at least the guy was neutral. They're learning that he is. Look, this is why I told you I had a problem with Paris. Paris knows this. If I know it, he does. He wants to act like he's intellectual. I'm going to treat him like that. If I can see it, you can see it. And the fact that you're defending this, that you never spoke out about this, tells me all I need to know about you. I don't care what you have to say. I don't care how eloquent you say it. This is what I know and what I see from you, and therefore that's all I need to see. You work for these people. You're part of the gaming journalists. You have incentive to defend it. You have to prove to me. Look, I'm not required to believe you. I don't care if it's Destin. I don't care if it's Paris. I don't care if it's IGN. I don't care if it's some YouTuber. I don't have to believe anything you say. If you want me to believe you, you have to prove it to me. I do not trust you. I'm coming out honestly saying from the beginning, I do not trust you. So what are you going to do to repair that?
Yes.
That's your job, not mine.
Yeah, the responsibility falls on
Exactly.
you.
Exactly.
100%. Let me see. Dude, this chat is. I'm just trying to catch up with the chat. So yeah. I mean, it might be hard, but I do recommend you listen to it.
Okay. You trying to punish me? You trying to punish?
I just because I want to be fair.
I know. It's just be hard for me to listen to that stuff because I've heard like Paris stuff before. So if it's similar to that, I've already heard it. I know they don't agree with it. They act like we're whining and all this stuff. And I heard it from him. And, they always say that because they have incentive to do it. And they have to come out now. The reason why they're pushing out so hard now, because before when it happened, Xbox people would flare up and then they just let it go and they'll turn away from it. And then they'll be satisfied. The media is satisfied now. They've been able to get away with what they've done. And so things just keep going on as it always does. But just this time it hasn't gone that way. So they're really trying to go out there to defend their reputation. That's really what it's all about. Destin included. Because he got Xbox people who watch him too. He should have never came out with that video.
The thing is, it's funny to me because he's done some great videos, but I don't need to subscribe to him to get that content. Because what happens is, this is why I love Twitter or X, whatever they're calling it. Because I've built a page on Twitter that allows me to see what's going on. And I'm not saying I don't step off the reservation. Of course you should.
Yeah, you have to listen to other viewpoints. That's how I said I have listened to Paris before. That's
because
and this other guy that works for IGN, And oh my gosh, this guy, he acts like he's a cultist. It's like almost he never ever said. Even when that one guy I can't think of his name. The guy who said that he, if Microsoft acquired Bethesda and all this stuff, and they hold those games back, that it would be repercussions and all. He even was even this. I can't think of this guy's name because I don't really know him. I've seen him on somebody's podcast, and this guy couldn't. He said nothing that was um he was defending IGN because he works for IGN, but he could not give me any good reason why we should believe anything he said after that statement. It was just like, well, I don't know what, it's like he was making excuses and stuff, like, I don't know about this statement that he said. Yes, you do, because it was just read to you. Why are you asking us to believe IGN and trust IGN and stuff? Like he was acting like a review was something like rocket science, like it takes, formulas and stuff in order to write down and stuff. Like, get out of here, man. It's an opinion. Get out of here. Your job is not that important. I know in your head it is, but I can write a review just as good, if not better. Hey, T, I've been encouraging T to do it. T knows more about these games than these guys do.
No, but that's the problem, right, T? Like, and Dale. But
what are you trying to make me do?
Write a review.
Write a review.
Yeah, I've been trying to push them in there.
I can't do videos, guys. I'm sorry.
Can you write them and read them off, like maybe?
No, I can't record anything. I don't have the software anymore to do it.
Oh, I see what you're saying.
So the only thing I can do to really actually like promote my stance is do podcasts like this, and like it sucks. It really does. I can only do like Instagram clips that are like a minute long.
Yeah, I saw yours.
Yeah, and that's the only thing I can really do. I don't have the software anymore to record videos like I used to, so I can't do that anymore.
But to my point that I was talking about earlier, like for a lot of us is like, would we want to do like even this podcast? The only reason I'm really doing this is because it irritated me. His video irritated me so much that I make a podcast.
Right.
But for most of the time, we're sitting there going like this. Okay, do I want a podcast and talk about this stuff, or would I rather be playing Warhammer Darktide for Warhammer 40,000, Darktide, and trying to
do both? I think the truth has to be. I think somebody who stands for the truth of things still needs to be out here to oppose these lies and these misconceptions.
Yeah, but that's the sad part, right? Is that they should be doing that.
They should.
These guys are the fourth estate, and they're supposed to keep our interests as gamers.
That's true.
Everything else. Right, and you can't trust them, and this is like, and I agree 100%. Yeah, but it takes something like this to upset me for me to do the podcast. If not, right, I would have made breakfast already, would have done my stuff, and then I would have probably try and get in a couple matches of Warhammer just so I can get these boxes that I need to upgrade my weaponry, right? Because they give you everything else, but there's these boxes that you need in it, and you have to comb through the maps to get it. Some places I know where they are. So my point is that takes time.
Right. Yeah.
And so would I rather be doing this? Or would I rather? This is why I love Unlimited's channel, right? Unlimited has that fervor about him, right? I'm old, but he has that fervor. Then he does his channel, and then I can watch his channel and listen to him play.
Yeah, we can use him as a mule to do all the work.
Well, because he really wants to. This is why I miss E-Rock so much, because E-Rock was so passionate about it.
Yes,
but E-Rock are in the same boat. It's just that's why E-Rock is. I understand him 100% when he's sitting there. Guys, should I be doing this? Or there's a million other things we could be doing, right? Other than doing this. Like my backlog on Netflix right now is getting ridiculous. I finally finished up this one dragon anime that they had, which I absolutely loved. And it was only 12 episodes.
Oh, wow. Okay. That's nice.
So there's stuff. Yeah.
You have a life outside of gaming too. Same, I don't just.
As far as the nerdosphere is concerned, like if Marvel's not giving me what I want, then I go to anime.
Yeah, exactly.
Because this is all multifaceted. This is what the gaming media doesn't understand that Microsoft understands, right? It's when they say stuff like anywhere with anyone on any device you want to play, right? There's merit to that because we live that all the time. Right?
That's how we live. Yeah,
that's how we live. And this younger generation coming up, this is all they know.
Yeah, you're right. Yeah, so, they're used to versatility, so they're not locked to one thing over another.
Now, something could be said about their tastes. We won't get it. That's a podcast for them.
Yeah.
These young kids and stuff. But T. I mean, T. I'll just send you links all the time, and
Yeah.
Come on, man, and you just.
Yeah,
Definitely.
I was resting before. That's why I didn't come on when you originally did.
Yeah, that's fine. I'll just shoot them to you. I'll just shoot them to you. This was kind of an impromptu thing.
Yeah.
And I got your thing because you sent me that clip too. So I was like, oh, okay, this is because I got two accounts and I can't remember which one because I'm old.
Yeah, I reached level 55 yesterday, so I was pretty happy.
I saw that. Yeah, I saw that. I was at my dad's house and I was like, ew.
And I got this boomer on my Instagram asking me what the meaning of the achievement was, and I'm like, you should read the description before you ask me that question.
Now, as a fellow boomer, I'm not the boomer generation, but I'm old. I have to sympathize with him. You should know, T. Like T was like picking this thing. I was like, I didn't say this on the mic. What are we doing? Where are we? Like I'm running and in fact, one time, remember T, we were playing and I tried to shoot you, and T was like, "It's me," like that. And I said, "Oh yeah, he has a rocket launcher." I was like, okay, T doesn't know how old I am. He's probably gonna kick me out.
Yeah, you gotta be patient, T.
Yeah, but once old guys, man.
I mean, once a boomer knows something, though, they know it. You just have to learn it well.
I guess that's our problem too, right? We just can't let go sometimes.
Yeah.
Now,
although you're not a boomer though. I do play with some of them on PC.
Well, because we're Gen, I believe we're Gen X, right?
Right. But boomers are above. Yes, you do have some that play.
Well, for me, like one guy said that to me that like you're Gen X because you're this. Oh, really?
Yeah.
And then I said like this. I said, oh, okay, well I don't care. And he goes, yeah, that's exactly what a Gen X person would say. I was like, oh. I was like, so, and then like when like one guy was like calling me a boomer, I was like, what does that even mean? And then he explained it to me, and I was like, oh, okay, well, cool, man. Like it's like okay, whatever, dude. Sticks and stones. That's where I grew up. And then I like with my kids, like I go into that old man syndrome when I argue with younger people.
Mm-hmm.
I'm like, yeah, whatever, man. Have you ever like not answered the phone because it was a bill?
Yeah. You read who's calling low, yeah.
So I was playing with T, right, and these guys were there. They did, and I was like, there's this big explosion, and then I was like, T, was that you? He just blew up the whole vehicle and killed everybody. Yeah, why did I think of that? I was just like, yeah, I used to do that before. But yeah, it was good fun. T, I gotta run my kids around today, but maybe tomorrow we can play.
Okay.
I mean, I know you're like 55. Yeah. Because December, right? They said December is coming.
Yeah. No, I really want the prestige system to activate, and I'm hoping in December that's when it will happen.
Well, I think they're gonna tie it to the seasons, right? Isn't that what it sounded like? Yeah. But I'm looking forward to those maps, man. Smaller maps are my passion.
But what kind of itched me was it technically didn't stop at 55. It goes to 56, but you can't get any XP after 55. So it stops at 55, but there is a 56. So it does show there is plans to make more.
Yeah.
And you have to wait patiently for it, I guess, is what you have to do.
Dude, I'm surprised. Like that's one of the good things about them getting that 4 score from IGN, right? It gives that's what everybody's focusing on, and it gives coverage to like because people there's some things that they're in the game that people don't like, but nobody's blaming Microsoft because everybody's like just hating the 4 score. Like, even like that one guy, like they talked about that this guy runs a website that's a COD Modern Warfare website, and then Destin tried to use that as an example, which is a very poor one. Because if you look at this guy's content and what he comments, he's critical of Modern Warfare. So for him to sit there and say, "Why is it a 4?" Because he actually plays it. He runs a website, like he's engaged in it, And Destin tried to say something like, "Well, he's that way from more of like a clickbait kind of, like well, he has skin in that game." I'm like, no, dude, he's a fan. Like the rest of us. See, because Destin, we played the game. Have you played Modern Warfare, Destin? Have you played Starfield, Destin? Like stuff like that, right? I'm just like, dude, it's one thing to be a journalist and comment on this stuff, but at some point in time, you got to get some experience as well. Or that's why your credibility is going to be shot. I'm just being honest. Then he tried to do stuff like bring up Paul Tassi and all these other guys, and I'm like, dude, Paul Tassi is the last person I want to listen to. Because that dude is just like anti-Xbox. He has some good takes sometimes. His best work is, of course, when they're just reporting the news. But yeah, I'm sorry, guys. I'm a little bit behind on the. Can everybody hear me? Is everybody?
Yeah.
I'm a little bit behind on the chat. Sorry, guys. Hold on, Google. Yeah, kind of long. Google had a really good comment on lost it. Sorry. The Xbox SX console alone is the best. It has great features and speeds. Okay. Oh yeah, that's when you dropped the. Hey, Deploy man, welcome, brother. Thanks for being here. Hogwarts was a really well done game too. Yeah, that's what I hear across the board from a lot of people. Just like when Star Wars came up with that, not the newest one, but the last one that came, and the newest one I heard good things too. But the Jedi one, the Fallen Order or whatever, and then people were like, Star Wars fans loved it, and just regular gamers loved it. So when you can do that, when you can cross the streams like that, you're in good shape. Deploy. I played Hogwarts. It was incredible. All right, yeah, good, brother. Yeah, and it's a. Again, this is why everybody's shocked by the snub. Basically, they will lose a lot of dollars. Already. Yeah. Oh, just cheers. I think we're catching up, right? Oh, T. Oh, that's you, T. Hey, Dea. Is Dea there? Did we lose her? Dea? Okay, maybe she's on. Off mic. Very creative open world game, one of a kind. Yeah, so that's the thing, dude. With Hogwarts, when you snub something like that, dude, that's not even an honorable mention, man. They're just trying to treat that thing like it's like when COVID was a big thing and everybody didn't want to talk about it. It was like it was taboo to talk about it. I was.
Sony is about to lose $7.9 billion, so I'm sorry.
Who is? What's going to happen? Oh, yeah, because of the lawsuit?
Yeah.
Yeah, I saw that.
And then you hear the news that Xbox came in second, right?
Yeah, I saw that too. Yep.
Yeah, it came in second, so.
And they haven't even got the full impact of their
It goes 10-cent Xbox, which is really cool.
Yeah, we need to be number one.
10-cent Xbox, Sony, Nintendo, Apple.
And that's why these other companies are wanting to get into the gaming space. Though I will say that, it's not for everybody. I'm not trying to like bemoan people that have businesses and stuff like that want to get into it. More power to you. But just just read the room a little bit. Right? It's very competitive now, and you have to bring your who was it? Stadia, right? Like how they tried to do Stadia and that fell apart real fast because they didn't have the ducks in order.
Okay, I'm back.
Yeah. Sorry, dear. I'm just reading the comments now.
Okay, all right.
And TT was talking about Sony getting sued by the CMA, or not sued, but getting sued by the gamers, and now it looks like the CMA is going to take up the cost.
What?
I love it. I just wrote on Twitter, "You live by the sword, you die by the sword."
Oh my gosh! It wasn't the ponies capping for the CMA. They was the like savior and everything.
when all this stuff first kicked off, the perspective I was trying to give people was like, dude, you never want you like all the Sony guys was 100% like capping for one idiot even changed his name to CMA lover or something or FTC lover and stuff like that. And I'm looking at these guys like, do you guys understand how big government works?
Oh,
obviously,
man.
you guys don't know how it goes. It's helping you out now, and but it can also be your biggest enemy.
Yes.
So good luck with that. It'd be fun.
And you know what the good thing is? We don't have to worry about that on the Xbox side because they opened their books wide and they saw it all. And this is the best they could do to Xbox was the cloud stuff.
Yeah, well,
that was it. And
that
was even weak. But Xbox let them have that. But
when a government entity has to hunt for stuff,
yes, that's when that was bad in and of itself. But what that means is that we, as far as those of us who care about Microsoft and the Xbox platform, we don't have anything to worry about because they just went through that trial by fire. But Sony, on the other hand, have a lot more reasons to not want them to look in there, and now they're coming to understand why they shouldn't have done that. Oh my gosh, I tell you, going after Microsoft with that ABK deal is just the gift that keeps on giving.
No,
they really should have left that alone. They got a worse deal out of it because Microsoft was willing to put ABK games on the PlayStation. It was a win-win either way. I know some people was upset about that, but I'm like, a lot of those games going to stay multiplayer anyway. If you're talking about World of Warcraft, if you're talking about that, just would have expanded these are games that a lot of different people play anyway, right? So they just would have been again infiltrating the PlayStation platform even more. That's what they would have did. That's why they didn't want to do that. That's why Jim Ryan turned that deal down because he understood what was happening with that. So he's like, no, well, he don't really want the games over there, not like that, where it's a continuous service and their Xbox is getting money like recurrent income, from them. No, they don't want that. Because they was planning on making their own stuff, you know, and
Well,
then be under competition with that.
but they also like the main thing, and that's why I said like some moment of clarity or Freudian slip, take your pick. But when he said it straight up, he's like, look, dude, if we lose Kai, we're over, which is 100%
Yes,
true.
yes.
I said that from the jump when this thing because people don't. I'll just be honest with you because I play COD, right, and I remember the shooter box days, right. People
Yes, I
don't
remember that.
understand how big. Again, I'll use this as an example. On my friends list, the three main things: Left 4 Dead, Call of Duty, and Netflix. Those three things in a row.
Yeah,
Every time I turn my friends list on, because I'm a person that plays a lot of variety of games.
yeah.
The majority, the 90% of the people on my friends list, that's all they did.
Okay.
So I do understand how big deal a COD is, and what it is, dude. It's like it's weapon. They weaponized it. They could use it as cannon fodder again for the console war.
Yeah.
But Microsoft, if you look at it, not you, but I'm talking about the fans or the people that might come across this.
Hmm.
If you look at it this way, they covered all their bases with it, right? And that's what Jim Ryan did understand, right? Like you said, I agree 100%. That's why he didn't want to do it because it's going to be making Microsoft money. Also,
Right.
on the flip side, when you have that again Freudian slip or moment of clarity, talking about COD or just being honest,
Right.
that's it's such a big player for them.
Yeah.
And then again, I agree with you 100% too. This is why I couldn't stand Xbox people. Like I'm sitting here, I felt like I was on an island with the rest of us here, like our small group on
Hmm.
an island, and I was saying, "Look, dude, I absolutely love this deal. You don't understand this case because it's going to expose everything." And then some
Yeah.
of the Xbox channels was like, "Oh man, I can't stand this. Man, I'm just tired of it. I wish you just go away." I'm like, "No, dude, I don't want it to go away because dude, what that tells me, as especially a journalist, a gaming journalist, what you're telling me right now is that you do not keep up with what happens in the industry. As
Right.
a journalist who reports on gaming stuff, these are pearls that you should be collecting right now.
Yeah.
This is
Yeah.
actually getting an insight into actually what goes on. And then the people that were was that Mueller, right? Julian Mueller, whoever that guy was online. I forget his name. Sorry, Florian.
Um. Oh, you talking about Florian? Okay. Okay. Yeah. I was. Okay.
Post up, post up. All of these people were reporting on this, giving us better news than IGN and any of these other gaming so-called gaming sites,
Hmm.
right? And again, this is why they caught flat-footed because what's happening to Sony now, they're like, oh my gosh, what's going on with Sony? Or I love this one, right? Yeah, when they did their videos, yes, we need to have a conversation about Sony. I said, bro, we've been having this conversation for years now,
That's true.
but you guys didn't care, you know. You guys are actually the Xbox fans that we're talking about. It's not just the Game Awards, dude. The Game Awards is another crack. Um,
Just another piece of that problem. It's not even the main issue, really. Nobody even cares. Look,
yes,
I never, even if Starfield and Hogwarts was nominated, nobody would have cared if they won or not. It's just that they would have been recognized. I think that's the main issue with that.
yes, I
It's
agree.
not even about winning it. So, but when people act like it's all about that, it's not about that. It's about everything else on top of that. Even learning how Xbox was being, manipulated from behind the scenes to not even be able to bring a lot of content to their people. That really opened my eyes because I was like, what kind of undue stresses and strains was Phil Spencer and his team going through just to try to bring content to their own customers?
Yeah, yeah,
Because on one end, they got to make money. Xbox is not a charity, okay? But on another end, they're being squeezed by the industry because they are the third place console, and but yet they still have to bring, games to their customers, and the customers don't understand what's happening behind closed doors. They can't even advertise certain things. They can't do this. Crossplay is being charged and all this stuff, all kind of crazy stuff, and they can't talk about it. But so they kind of took the rap. A lot of people just thought, well, Xbox needs to do better. They need to do this, and this is what you hear everywhere. And then at the end, you find out, well, they couldn't because it was so many different things outside of them, suppressing them and keeping them from doing the things they wanted to do.
yeah, yeah. and it all came into light, which I 100% love. You know, I'm just like, dude, look at and watching ponies trying to spin it, that was even better because I'm like, no, you
Yeah.
can't spin this like you guys normally do.
Yeah.
You know,
Yeah.
you guys, the media is like basically has to ignore this stuff, and then you guys are on your own merits, and we all know that you guys are horrible.
Yep.
So like, oh, look, Zing says, hey, but yeah, deploy
Hi,
pony
Zing.
bots, straight up pony bots, dude, and the pony bots now are giving, even the pony bots are getting more exposed. Again, when you watch Destin's video, he'll reference some of the so-called Xbox guys, namely Gas, right?
Oh, Gas, man. I do not trust Gas. I don't care what anybody. You know, one thing I say is that there's certain people that Xbox people would drop their guard over the podcasters, and I love some of them, you know, but they'll be friends. I'm kind of friends with this guy, you know. I'm like, be careful with that.
Yeah.
Be careful with that because you know they're not as you know they're more so. I know Gas is. I think Gas is a pony. I think he might play a few things on Xbox, but I think he's a pony.
I
That's what
look
I
at
think he is.
I look at Gaz and I'm like, look, he's an entertaining guy, and
He is. He makes good videos though.
he makes great videos.
Yeah.
But again, he's the same person like these other guys. Like when the reason why I tune most of these dudes out is because as soon as the whole thing that came with the AAA stuff, right, and this has been going on for years, and the first thing I noticed about AAA is that this, you know, again, they're like we know this, right? Like if why does TV shows get canceled, right? Because they don't have enough viewership. Why do movies lose money and then there's no franchise because they don't make
they didn't make enough money to
Right.
justify it. Yeah.
Right.
Another
So-
movie or something.
So when I always look at games that way, right? When you look at games and stuff like that, right? If you're telling me that you have 150 million user base, but you're only selling less than a percentage, certain amount of percentage, like less than 10%, if I'm being nice, right? That doesn't add up to me, right? And then you
Neither.
start looking at okay, so this is why games cost $60 a piece. Now, well, because games cost $70 a piece, right? So all of this stuff is like all these little things are popping up, and none of these people are acknowledging it, which is another reason why I don't listen to these guys, right?
Right.
Because I'm like, dude, you're not cognizant. There's a reason why we have $70. Yes, the economy's bad, but these guys weren't making money. You're gonna get a what, Last of Us 2 remaster for PS5 or something like that,
Mhm.
right? Because not enough of you guys bought the original. They need to make their money back because these things cost.
Exactly. Yeah. Exactly.
There's a pattern to all of this kind of stuff, but these guys are, and either if they do it, maybe they know, but they're doing it on purpose. I actually think they're not that great. Sorry, just being honest. But then these pony bots, man, they're sitting there telling them we need AAA bangers, we need AAA bangers. Microsoft gives you a Halo. Well, we need more than just Halo. Right?
Yeah, Halo's not good enough. Even though it has a campaign, even though it has multiplayer, it has all these other modes, and it has a
Like,
forward
to me,
tool system. You know.
Yeah, when I hear them say, I say, okay, so what you want Microsoft instead of making the Halo or the Forzas and stuff, which are great games, you want them to make like something like The First of Us, right? Right? Just
Yes,
like right?
yeah, that's exactly it. Yeah.
Like again, like when you go to like I know my friends were like they were stationed in South Korea, right? They'd be like, it's not Gucci, it's like kind of Gucci, right? They have the little name like Gucci, right? Like it's like that. That's what these guys are promoting, and
Exactly.
I'm saying, no, you guys are the Xbox guys. You guys are the biggest channels. You guys have the most viewership, and this is what we're getting from you. I'm like, no, dude. This is why I told this to Hebot, and okay, I'll probably get canceled for this. I don't care, right? Because then I could just go play my games. But I just like I say this all the time. I said if the console war was real, you'd have to shoot the pony bots first, because these dudes will get you killed. That's how bad these guys are. You couldn't go to war with these guys, and you can't go to war with these guys because these dudes hang around other ponies, and they want to matter.
Yeah.
Like I just said, if I get canceled, I don't care because I don't care if I matter or not.
Yeah.
But
I
these
don't
guys-
need. You know, this is when you said they hang around with the ponies. Look, I like Dealer, right? But I don't like his show. He got too many ponies and junk on there.
Yeah.
So I'm like, I don't look at an Xbox show to look at it. I don't have a PlayStation. There is no reason for me to look at their opinions on what an Xbox game. They don't play on Xbox. So why in the world are you putting these people on your show when they don't play on Xbox? They may play a game or two, but they don't understand the platform. I look at a podcast because the people on there are primarily Xbox users. Just like I wouldn't want to look at a reviewer who only ever has like 2 reviews or something on Xbox for everything on PlayStation. Why would I look at you? You know? So Dealer's one of them. He's great, but why he has that on there, it makes me question that. Like
Yeah.
if you're an Xbox gamer, don't you want to talk to other people who play on the same platform you do, that play the type of games you play? Why are you playing with ponies who are looking for over the shoulder? And then here's another one. I'm calling them out.
Yeah.
Iron Lords, for instance, like
Yeah.
King Dave is fantastic. I'm not
Yeah, I
talking
love
about
King
him,
David.
but the others talking about just one what, over the shoulder? Is that what we're talking about? Xbox needs this just one. It's just what, one over the shoulder. That's what you're talking about. So out of all these games that they're releasing, these fantastic games, Microsoft Flight Sim, Age of Empires, fantastic game. The Pentiments. Yes, Pentiment won awards, but for all the jokes and people said about that thing won awards. Okay. You had Psychonauts. I can go through all the different types. That's a platformer. I can go through all these different type of games, and you want the just one? You want the one Sony type of game? That's what you're trying to tell me? Like, it needs that in order to be complete. It needs that just one. Get out of here. All these different games, and it's not enough. They have to have something that Sony had. First off, that's coming. I think Xbox is going to have some games like that for those people who like those. I'm not saying there's anything wrong with those type of games. It's just that Microsoft doesn't focus on that. They focus on multiplayer first. Now they're starting to get into single player type games and stuff, and we'll probably start to see some of those games. But they act like none of those other games make it valid until that just one shows up. And
They had that one. It's called Quantum Break, and they didn't play it. Oh wait, no.
Good point.
No, I take that back. Some of them did play it. They just hate it. They just had to pretend to hate it because it was an Xbox.
It was an
exclusive.
Xbox. See, that you can't win for losing. You're right, Unlimited.
That's a petty podcast right there. Yeah, we're gonna go back. Yes, 100%, bro.
So and this is from the Iron Lords, and they're highly respected. So I can call out a lot of people, and I'm like, the things that they want Microsoft to do, it just sounds like to me they want them to be Sony.
Yep, a lot of them just want it to be PlayStation 2.0. I caught on to that years ago.
Right.
Years ago, when we were getting a bunch of different games, created games like State of Decay 2, and they all praised Xbox desperately needs a God of War, right? I was like, all right, let's wait and see which game is still being played and supported years later. Oh, it's State of Decay 2 that y'all hated on because of its graphics or something stupid.
Right.
Yeah. Listen, Xbox wouldn't be around if they copied the Sony playbook, because the Sony playbook doesn't make money.
It's failing. Yeah, exactly.
Hey, yeah, let's follow third place. I'm gonna use, matter of fact, I'm gonna use their argument against them. Yeah, let Xbox follow the real third place, the third place that where their former CEO literally said they can't survive without a multi-plat. Yeah, they're the big winners, Daya. The big winners need fucking Call of Duty to survive. Get out of my face with that. Man, if only they had a Game of the Year nominated game. Who cares? Matter of fact, there are multiple Game of the Year award shows. There's the joystick game. There's going to be an IGN Game Award. There's going to be a GameStop Game Award. So who gives a fuck if Jeff Keighley's one show doesn't nominate it? I'll even go a step further. Why do you even care? Because the way I see it, if you play the game and you like it, why doesn't anything else matter? This is the part of the Xbox community I don't like, Daya, are the ones who need that validation. And I've been saying for years, if you expect that validation to ever come, wake up. If this year hasn't taught you anything, it's never going to happen. If a year where they gave you Starfield, Hi-Fi Rush, Redfall, Forza, Age of Empires 2 remastered, and Age of Empires 4 on Xbox was not enough. There's literally going to be never a year where it's enough after this. So give up that dream that you definitely want, because what a lot of them want, Daya, is that they want the Game of the Year award so they could throw it in the Sony fans' face. I don't need to do that.
All they want.
I got you know what I got? You know what I got? Record-breaking quarters. The fact that Xbox bought Bethesda and Activision, the fact that Xbox has more games in their lineup than Sony has, the fact that Xbox has better studios, more studios, and a more complete roster. You see, I don't need the validation. Who cares about validation? The numbers are speaking for themselves. The Game Pass subscription is speaking for itself. The fact that 70% of Xbox Series S and X owners are subscribed to Game Pass speaks for itself. You can shove the Game Awards up your ass for all I care, because I can't play an award. You know what? I've never put a game in my console and said, "Man, this is a good award." You know what I said? Nah, it's a good game. Yeah. So yeah, I'm with you there. It's just that it drives me crazy, right? The neutrals, the guys who you know, as you said, just that one what?
Just that one.
Starfield was that single player game that you
exactly.
What's that? Hi-Fi Rush was a single player game.
Yes, it was. Yeah.
Sunset Overdrive was a single player game.
Yep.
Quantum Break was a single player game. So don't sit here and tell me Xbox needs this and that. Xbox literally needs nothing because they got like 40 damn studios making games right now.
Exactly.
And then since y'all love the roadmap, what's PlayStation's roadmap? I mean, PlayStation is just so great, right? This is why I always combat it. Because nobody ever tells me why it's so great. What another God of War? The best God of War were the hack and slash ones on the PS2.
Yeah, they was cool.
Another Spider-Man. Spider-Man's been around for 40 years. I don't need to be in New York City again, swinging left and right. Another Horizon. Horizon's the most paint by numbers boring game ever. And I have no clue. Listen, the only reason why that game gets praised is because it said only on PlayStation on the box. And I'll die on that hill. If Ubisoft put that boring ass game on shelves, they'd rip it apart because that game sucks. All right, for the love of God, Alloy does not shut the fuck up for 1 iota, for 1 millisecond. Every little thing you do. I mean, matter of fact, the hand-holding in Sony games are insulting. Nintendo games give you more freedom than PlayStation games. Yeah, I said it. Nintendo games give you way more freedom. Because at least Mario don't be like, maybe if I jump on the turtle, I could progress here. Like Sony games. Sony games just be like, they don't let you think for a moment. They just hold your hand like a 5-year-old, like, here you go, buddy. Throw the rock there, and you'll stop the bad guy. Light that on fire, and you'll solve the puzzle. You know, why you didn't put that stuff in the games if you're not going to let me figure it out?
Hey,
man.
They know their fan base unlimited. They know their fan base.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
You sound just like some of them.
I sound who?
You sound just like some of them that I've heard before.
Yeah, man. You know what I'm saying? I gotta get downtown to stop Venom. Oh, really?
Oh,
is that what the cutscene a second ago just showed me? Venom attacking the city? Oh yeah, Spider-Man. I could not figure that shit out. I mean, my goodness. I did the way that them boring ass games get praised. It'll never make sense to me. The PlayStation, these modern PlayStation games are terrible. They're terrible.
You know how a single player game like that is done right? Starfield.
Yeah.
People complained about it, but Starfield didn't tell you jack. You had to discover it.
One of my favorite moments in Starfield, it was just something simple. When I was doing a side quest and I realized I could use the cutter to cut down the things to get through different rooms. The game never said that. Yeah. I just noticed the little carbon rods, like, maybe if I cut them, like this is what I'm saying in my head. Andreja or Sarah, they didn't need to say, maybe you cut down the rods, it'll put you in another room. No, I figured that out on myself. And then I start to think differently with this game. Now, okay, so there are going to be different ways I could approach this game. That's you know, and after playing it, I'm starting to understand why they don't like Xbox games, because they don't be telling you to do every fucking thing.
Yeah.
I mean,
but that's just, Todd wants you to learn the game. Like, you experience it, and that means everything, even from the controls. And I'll tell you one of my stories. That scan that you use with the laser.
Mm-hmm.
I thought all that did was highlight plants and stuff, right? Nope. Until one time I was traveling on a planet, found some mysterious cave out of nowhere, got a few things out of it, killed some things in it, then came out, and I used the scanner. And all this time I didn't even know that it helps show you wherever you walked from, so you can go and backtrack how to get back. Right. So like, this was just a small thing, but it helped me to. I just followed my own footprints, because it shows you everywhere you've been. It shows you everywhere you've been. So I went and followed and traced my footprints all the way back to the ship, and I didn't know it did that. The game never explained that to me. But that was a small aspect that I learned, So
you mean discovery, right?
Yeah, you have to discover every mechanic you do. Every mechanic in that game, you have to learn it yourself.
Well, my daughter helped me with that, because my daughter was doing something, and I'm like, "What are you doing?" And she goes, "Oh, so she went someplace and she figured out like there was gonna be something there or whatever." I said, "Oh, how'd you know that?" She just looked at me. "It's a Bethesda game, Dad."
Yeah, if you used to Bethesda, yeah.
And I'm like, oh,
No,
excuse
yeah.
me, little girl.
Yeah, she
Right.
knows. Yeah, that's how you know a true. But that then these fakes that was going around. I play Bethesda game. Do not listen to these people, man. They probably played a little bit of something here and there. They don't because the things they were acting like was a problem was in all Bethesda games, even the
Yeah.
award-winning ones.
That's
Okay,
how you know these guys are liars. Oh, I love
they're
Skyrim. I
liars.
play
Yeah.
Skyrim. No,
They're
you didn't.
liars. I'm like, you're not no Bethesda gamer. Because and then some of the things they're saying and complaining about should be removed. It's the things that Bethesda they praise, but they just said you can improve it this way, right? They didn't want it gone. They just wanted it improved, and that's what Todd did. He improved on some of the systems that they did in other games. So the things they were complaining about were things that you can find in Fallout, Skyrim, any of those games, you can find those. You can find certain systems that they had already used in those games in Starfield. Starfield also has some new, unique systems that
Mhm.
some of them was complaining about. But yeah, that's how you know. And also, I'll add this to what you were saying, Unlimited. Another thing besides that, just one that they crying about. Oh, whenever they see anything dealing with Marvel, Xbox got to have their own superhero. So one time I said, well, now they have Prototype. This is something that can meet Phil's need of having something that he owns, and he can really go all out, making that a full universe with his own rogue list. It can have his own, it can be I say that character is more like an anti-hero, but you can really fill out the universe and it's yours. You never have to worry about licensing. You never have to worry about losing anything. No, they need to have something with name recognition. Well, all things starts off. Well, first off, Prototype does have some, but to build up on it, they will have to make games for it and bring it back into the forefront. But in my opinion, it's not good enough. It has to be Marvel. It has to be on par with Spider-Man. Who says if a person wants a Spider-Man game, by all means, go over there and play that whatever you calling Spider-Man today over there on PlayStation. Because that
Man,
again, that's not
if a superhero game need to be on par with Spider-Man, then superhero games suck because listen, I'm not impressed by swinging through New York City, spray painting as a deaf girl, or none of that, or catching finding backpacks and catching pigeons. These are some of the boring stuff you do in these Spider-Man games 1 and 2,
Gotham
right?
Knights
So
was better.
yeah, way better. And
Yeah.
so I'm not. Listen, you know what doesn't impress me? Long cutscenes, pretty graphics, and terrible voice acting.
Right.
It's like when people were saying the voice acting in Horizon was good, I was like, "You guys are crazy." The voice acting is horrible. It sounds like a community college theater class with that voice acting.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's what
So
really irked me about Halo is like when you watch, like especially on Halo 5, there's like so many good scenes in there, and even Halo 4.
they had
Like when
excellent
they did the
actors in Halo
cutscenes.
5 though.
Yeah,
Real
and
actors.
of course they hired like actors and stuff to
Yeah,
do
real
it.
actors, yeah.
Yeah, but the scripting, right, the delivery of the lines, like
Yeah.
again, my favorite part is when Locke looks at Buck, right, and Buck looks at Locke and says, "Look, they're gonna," and the way he delivers it too, man, you can tell like this is like a Hollywood type.
Yeah.
Yeah,
On
right.
that
He looked
level,
at him
yeah.
and he goes, like, they're gonna hate us, right? Right, and it was just like that simple kind of thing. But that wasn't even like throughout the game. Like Unlimited said, a lot of these Sony games, right? They have to do this at like throughout the whole thing to paint the narrative. Where you have a game like Halo, which is basically a campaign, right? A shooter, and then you pick these moments that you put in there because your world is already built, and you put these moments in there, even though are a cutscene, that accentuate the actual gameplay, right? And that's the difference. That's why it used to drive me nuts. Like when people were complaining about Lock or when people were saying about Halo 4, I was like, dude, man, it's the entire universe that it's building up, and they do it so well, and they do it so quickly because everybody wants to get back to the shooting. So anyway, sorry, that's my interjection.
Yeah, I mean, so see, the things you're highlighting is the difference between an oh, hi, Dr. Vaca. He just said hi to everybody.
Hey,
There.
Oh,
what's
hey,
up?
Raka, what's up, man?
But yeah, what you guys are highlighting is the fundamental difference between Xbox and Sony. And all that I hear from people is either we, over here need a superhero. In my opinion, I don't care about having Marvel or DC over here. But if we get it, okay. If Phil is willing to do that, that's fine. I want Prototype. I want that to be a fully fleshed world because it's unique. It's not. It's something that isn't out there, hasn't been touched in a long time. so it's due for like like a reboot. I want that. I want that game to be fully fleshed out, and it meets the need of a superhero type style kind of game. If you want that, that's fine. They got that. And I know this may not fit that. In my mind, I always thought that Master Chief was kind of like that. He's heroic type. He's that archetype of a superhero to me. So whenever I was playing Halo, that's kind of how I felt. Like I was like this super soldier, who could do anything. This Spartan that just got all these abilities and stuff. He kind of fits that need for me on Xbox. I never felt that. I don't know why it has to be Marvel or DC personally. Again, you do have Master Chief, who is archetype of a superhero. He is.
That's
Um,
because he's a Spartan too.
I'm sorry.
What
That's
was that?
because he's a Spartan too.
Yeah, he's a
Yeah,
Spartan.
yeah.
Yeah.
Though I do like the darkness of his background. Though.
Yes, it's very
Smart
dark.
program.
Yeah, it's very dark. Yeah.
But look, Thea, just to answer your question, unless it's Superman, it don't matter. Yes, I said it. I hate to say it and admit it, right? But unless it's Superman, because Superman is the art. He is the.
He is the ultimate archetype. That's what I
Right.
love. I love Superman. He's my favorite of all time. But
And that's why I say that only to say I support that. You don't have to. You don't have to
you
have.
can
You can
be right. Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah,
Thank
did you ever
you.
watch The Fall of Reach?
Yes.
Yeah. Okay.
Yes. I watched those. Yep. Yeah. And by the way, that's one that whole part of that story is one of my favorites of all time. I
Yes,
really,
it is.
really love that.
Yeah,
I
Disney.
love the game too. Even though I know it's not exact to the books, I love the game. I love everything about Reach. I love that. I think that's, in my opinion, one of the highlights of the storytelling. Very, very humanized the way that happened, because you could just feel the despair of what the people was going through during those events. And
Yeah, I just wanted to say that's something
whew,
that Disney could learn from. How
yes,
to create
yes,
those moments. Yeah.
yes. That's it. Yeah, this was why I love Halo. I really love Halo. But yeah,
Oh, sorry, T. I didn't mean to interrupt you.
No,
Go ahead.
I just want to make sure she knew that story, because if she knew that story, she knew how special John was. So
Yes,
that
Oh,
was the
yes,
whole
yeah,
part I understood.
yep.
Did you
Dude,
watch Forward Unto Dawn too?
I'm
Yeah.
sorry.
Oh,
Did you
sorry.
watch Forward Unto Dawn?
Yes, I did.
Did you watch Nightfall?
That's my favorite, by the way. Forward Unto Dawn. I like that one a lot.
Did you watch Nightfall?
Nightfall, is that? Can you tell me which one that one is? Was
That's the
that
one with the
when he
Luke
was a little?
Cage actor in it.
Probably not that one. I probably haven't seen that one. I know I watched about at
I
least
think you
3
can still
movies.
watch that one on YouTube. I think that one's still free.
That one's still on YouTube. Okay, I have to check that out.
Yeah.
I know I watched Forward Unto Dawn, the Reach one. I saw the one where he was a little kid. I don't know all the names. I forget, but I know I saw about 3 movies. Obviously, I seen the TV show. Anything Halo, like the TV show let me down though, because I wanted it to be something. I had it in my head of what I wanted it. I'll admit that. But
Yeah, I think that's a lot of people were like that. Yeah, I mean,
yeah, I'm fair
me
about that though. That it was in my head what I thought it should be, but I accepted it for what it was though.
I wanted it to be a lot more grand. Not a
Yes,
grand,
yes, like a
or
yeah,
something.
yeah,
Yeah. But my own personal opinion. But
yeah.
I mean, I
Same.
watched it. I like the. I watched, but I did like some stuff they took. They did. I didn't. That was.
Yeah, some things I liked and some things I didn't.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Don't tell 100 though. 100 being this 100. I'm surprised. Yeah.
I know, man. They'll shoot. They'll shoot. You won't. You just hear like in the background, zeke, like somebody done sniped you and stuff. They be
Oh yeah. 100 will go in on us.
like, 100, yeah, 100 probably done wrote our names down already on the hit list.
No, I was having loads of fun with Halo last night.
Yeah, I gotta get back on it. I'm so bad. Were you playing multiplayer, right?
Yeah, I was.
Hmm.
I was playing Team Slayer.
So what's the big hype for you? What is it about the game that's turning it around?
Yeah.
Just the community, I would assume.
Okay.
And the community is now 30 million, so that's pretty cool.
I heard that's
Mhm.
crazy. 30 million. And it hasn't even taken Halo Infinite with 2 years or something to turn it around like that. Oh my gosh. That's
Yeah.
crazy.
You can always find a match. That's not a problem.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's why that's the problem I was having, T. But one of the other guys in our group, I think it might have been Gold. Somebody was telling me, "Oh yeah, it's better now," and try. He gave me an advice to do something, but I never went back yet. So I gotta go back. I'll try and do that today.
Oh, great.
30 million. I still can't get over that. So, like, I mean, gosh, Microsoft is killing it with the gas games. I mean, so far, all of them has been. And you know what? I'll say this: people who have dismissed Redfall, keep your eyes on that because
Oh,
Microsoft doesn't give up on any game. We don't know what that game is going to look like when they're done with it. We don't
no.
know. I never thought Grounded would get a Forge mode. Never thought that. It was no indication of that even when I bought the game.
Mhm.
So I don't know what these games going to look like. They don't ever stop making working on these games. They don't. I don't think they've ever stopped on any game they've ever except those games that were kind of slated like that. Like Psychonauts was a complete story for that chapter of the story. I think at some point Double Fine might do a third one. Who knows? I know they're not immediately working on one, but I think
Yeah,
they're working on some other games now.
yeah,
But
they wanted to do something else.
they said they want to do something different. Yeah.
Yeah,
So
something
but I hope they do. I love Psychonauts. I bought 1 and 2. I love Psychonauts. So I hope they do a third one. One day. They don't have to do it now, but one day. And but that those games are kind of like they tell their story and then they're done. Like, I don't think Double Fine is into like making their games like just ongoing forever like that. They just don't do that. They kind of go on to the next project. And that's fine for a smaller studio like them, right? But
That's what
but
makes it.
other I'm sorry, go ahead.
No, sorry. That's what makes it kind of unique with their
Yeah.
property.
Yep. Because I was hoping for like DLC or something. I'm like, I'm realizing Double Fine just don't do that. You got to look at every studio for what they do. But Microsoft supports those games. They don't give. If a game is broken, don't expect that they're going to just abandon it. They don't do that. So.
Yeah, that's why I'm so happy that Sarah Bond's like next in line.
Mm-hmm.
We're gonna need somebody to take the mantle from Phil.
Yep.
Because in order to continue this, you need the leadership to be right.
Yeah. Shiz though, let's not forget Redfall is getting more content and 2 new characters, so
Yes, they
it's
are.
definitely gonna have a story
It's going
expansion
to have
with it.
more stuff. Yeah. Yeah. That's what I'm
Actually,
waiting on now. Because I've been trying to play other stuff and I'm kind of because my friend want me to get back in it, but I said if I do, I'm only going to be just building up another character. I might do that. Right now it's just been too hard because I got other games I've been wanting to play. So it's been that like I've been trying to wait on some more content.
no,
Um,
the Xbox has no games. Come on,
are you
we don't
kidding?
have
I've been in a coma
I
the
know.
past couple
It's like
months.
Thanksgiving on Game Pass. Too much.
How was you guys
Dude.
Thanksgiving?
Oh man, I had a good one. It was nice and relaxing.
Yeah.
I had 8 people at my dinner table.
Nice.
Ooh. You guys ate well then. That's a lot of
Yeah,
food
we had
for
we
8
had a
people.
turkey, we had mashed potatoes, we had um cranberry sauce, we had
Mhm.
biscuits,
Oh,
uh,
wow.
and then we had pie.
Okay. Awesome.
But I got to see my brother and sister, and it was actually kind of fun. Me and my brother and sister and her boyfriend smoked outside in the garage.
Mhm.
So we have fun doing that. And then we were supposed to go visit my brother's house, but my brother was too tired to do the trip. So we are going to
Yeah.
do that tomorrow.
Yeah. Yeah, it can be hectic on the holidays, so yeah, probably.
Yeah.
But we
Yeah.
had fun. It was a fun night.
Yeah. My Thanksgiving was good too. I had a lot of people.
I had a lot of turkey.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. I had
I barbecued outside. We had whole chickens because we partially cooked some for fire department. So
oh,
like
okay.
Oh,
we
nice.
made a lot of chicken and stuff, and I had to cut them in half and all that. And we grilled them, and oh, they came out so good. And we sent that to them, so that was fun.
Yeah. We had turkey, curry goat, oxtail,
Oh wow.
rice and peas. Yeah. Well, my family's Jamaican, so
Oh, that makes
Oh,
sense.
yeah. Is
Okay.
that what it is? Oh, I was
yeah.
wondering.
Yeah, they eat differently. I used to have some food from a friend. My hairstylist, she was Jamaican. Well, her family is. She's American, but her
Mm.
mom wasn't. She came over, and boy, they still cook like that though. Oh man, you talking about some good food? That's just different from anything that
Yeah.
you usually get in America. Oh man,
We
when she
finally
was
got
teaching me how to
a
cook things.
we finally got a truck here that does Jamaican food, and they're actually
Oh really?
yeah.
Oh
Okay.
yeah.
Yeah, because I mean, you know, Hawaii is weird because Hawaii has a close tie to like reggae. Reggae is such a big influence. And Bob
Right.
Marley is such a huge- You know that "Waiting in Vain" song he did way back in the day.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, come to Hawaii, and in the video, right, it has actually the backdrop is Hawaii and every system. But then I grew up in the mainland, so at that time. But then yeah, it's a connection here that they have, especially the culture and the music. And,
Right.
Mm-hmm.
but we never, I mean, the food never transitioned over. You know what I'm saying? But now we have people that are living here. We have a lot
That are
of different
bringing
cultures.
the food culture. Yeah, Jamaicans are all about their food, man. They got some
Mm-hmm.
good food.
Well, the seasoning is just amazing.
Oh man, and how they use it, it's just really good.
Yeah.
I didn't know. Yeah, for real. No, I didn't know you were Jamaican.
Oh yeah, yeah, yep. My dad was born and raised out there. Came here when what the 80s, I think, and met my mom.
Oh, nice. Yeah. For our Thanksgiving, dude, we just had. I don't know, man. There was like food. The both refrigerators was packed. Dude, I ate too much custard pie.
Uh-oh,
Yeah, man.
gonna
I
be
was
working off those pounds, huh?
Mhm.
what I did there is I actually fasted for 2 days before I went
Oh,
Ah,
okay.
because I
yeah.
got my stomach like I have stomach issues and stuff. So
Hmm.
like I knew, so you know I don't want to offend my family and stuff like that, and I want to eat the food is good, but I've been like managing my food and stuff. But then I didn't eat for 2 days, and then when I went there, I was able to eat. You know, nothing major, but at least I could keep up with some of my my cousins. They're big people. And, my one cousin, dude, that dude's like, man, he's short. I'm like, dude, he just put away all the food, and they still have more food. Like they like all the stuff was so packed that I was like, dude, I don't even want to dig. Like there was just like turkey, give me a sausage
Oh
and
man,
roast. The only thing my mom didn't make was surprising was the ham. That's what I was looking forward to the most.
Hmm.
ham. Oh, usually that's a Christmas thing.
Yeah, we do the ham, but she does it the way she does it. Because what it is the way she makes it, and I like to slice it up, and then I make sandwiches.
Hmm.
Yeah, that's yeah,
Excuse me.
yeah.
Yeah,
I
eggs
like to
and
stretch
ham.
it like that. Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, I like. We have rice with everything, right? So you have rice, egg over easy, and ham the next morning for breakfast. And then she makes this juke thing, like the soup with the bone and everything. That's delicious.
Oh,
Mhm.
Yeah, but I mean, I ain't complaining, man. We have so much food. Like I'm in a food
ooh.
court.
You know what though? That you know what I'm used to people doing when they have a lot of food, and everybody has this on their street, right? You know that one family that might always struggle a little bit financially and stuff. Then they
Mhm.
usually all just automatically on that day bring them a Thanksgiving meal. That's
Well,
always a great way of, like, sharing some of that food that you know you're not gonna be able to eat all of, so, like, sharing it with usually everybody has that on their street, that one family that might be struggling a little bit or, a little poorer than the rest of the families and stuff, and then you all of a sudden, you knock on their door like, "Happy Thanksgiving," they give everybody their meal. That's nice.
yeah, over here, like, well, not where my dad lives, but like especially where I work, like nobody knows how to cook. So I work with a bunch of IT people.
Uh-huh.
So like, there's usually only a couple people that can make the make the food.
Oh, geez, yeah.
But then
Yeah,
these are
that's
the guys,
bad.
but they're the guys that are coming like, oh, Thanksgiving, are you gonna do this? I can give you money. And so they're all
Oh,
like,
wow.
I'll give you money, right? But it's weird because like yeah, when I go to my like that whole block, that whole neighborhood like that, I'm driving up the neighborhood, dude, and everybody has their tents out. People are smoking, people are barbecuing,
Mhm.
the traditional stuff, the non-traditional stuff. I drove past the school, man. I saw the smoke coming up, so they had the emu. So they dig this hole in the ground and they're cooking the turkeys.
Oh,
And,
yeah, I've seen that on television before. Yeah. They
yeah.
cook like that still?
Not as
Is it
in
like
some places.
special occasions or something like that?
Well, normally baby luau, yeah. First we celebrate the baby luau graduations, stuff like that. Family
Oh,
reunions. Yeah, that's how I did my first pig. Yeah, that was disgusting. I'm not gonna lie.
okay.
I'm a horrible Hawaiian. I'm the worst at but we had to go Kahlua pig, man. I was like, I'll never do that again. Because I didn't know how smart pigs was until that day. Like people talked about it. I heard them talk about it, but like I said, I
Yeah,
think I
they
said
are
in the last
smart. Yeah.
podcast, man. We opened up the gate to take him down to where he's supposed to
Mhm.
get slaughtered.
Yeah.
That pig was like, dude, no.
No, they'll fight for their life, like, to
Yeah,
the
that's what he did.
last breath.
He's kind of
Yeah.
captain too, man. He was every bit of 750 pounds too.
Yeah, oh, man, that's a
It was a
big
big
one.
one. Yeah. So my uncle saved this for our family. He made this specifically for our family reunion. And so what ended up happening is my dad had to come. My dad's a pretty big guy, and me and my cousins was trying to grab him. So my dad, when we was trying to grab his legs, my dad just went underneath him from the belly and lifted him up and slammed him up against the wall.
Oh
Like,
wow!
the rest of us,
What in
and
the
like
world?
me and my two cousins, like there were two cousins on each leg. That's how big this pig was, and it was fighting, right?
Yeah, they strong too.
Yeah,
Was it a bull? Was it a male?
yeah, it was a meal.
Oh
And
yeah,
so
they
my dad was like, hurry up, grab the lace. Oh, you guys useless. But that's how it is. We getting yelled at the same time as we're trying to do this. It was an eye opener, man. I mean, I never did that before, but that's a lot of work too.
It is a lot. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah, dude. I was totally not. I didn't know you had to I didn't know how the skinning worked. Right? They have hair.
Yeah. They. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah. So you have to skin it. So they have all these tools and stuff.
Yeah.
Anyway, it
Yeah.
was a
You
whole
got to do it a certain way. Yeah.
yeah, yeah. Especially like when you do that. Like, of course, I knew about the blood thing.
Mm-hmm.
You gotta
Yeah.
drain them. But the way they did it, yeah, we have Filipinos that work with my uncle, and they was on it, man.
Hey Sega,
Yo,
was that Destin Xbox Tax really a podcast of 2 hours and 50 minutes long?
so what he did was he did the video on the Xbox tax, and he was saying how it's ridiculous, and then he got blowback. Like even Turbo, like guys like Turboverse
So where did that 2 hour and 50 podcast come from?
today.
Yeah.
Yeah, he did it today, but he was having guys like I think Post Up was on. He is having people from the Xbox community that he knows. I guess.
Oh, were they ragging on him?
I didn't watch it because I did this podcast because I was like, okay, I'm gonna do my own.
Okay, yeah, I don't have time to sit through a 2 hour and 50 podcast.
That's long. Yeah.
Yeah, I don't have time to do that. So that was
Yeah.
like, if what he said was really biased, then I believe you. But that
You said you believe it.
Yeah.
But I
even
didn't
blame
think
me.
he would do a 2 hour and 50 podcast. That's insane.
Now that you told me that it was that long, I'm not surprised.
That's long. Yeah. That's
Well,
like
it's-
that's running
I
to
just saw that on my
marathon
YouTube
levels
screen,
there.
and I'm
now,
like,
you know?
yo, that must have been hard to sit through.
I heard that,
Yeah,
yeah.
that's short, man.
I was about to make a joke. I was like, yeah, that's ridiculous. That many podcasts
Yeah,
over
that's
2 hours.
marathon. That's like on the border of marathon there. I don't know. Oh no, man.
I
That's
think
a long
about
time.
Unlimited all the time. I was listening to the podcast the other day. I wanted to chime in, but I was in a I don't like to type on my phone. But I was about to say, I was like, hey, Unlimited, man, what's going on? You guys getting close?
Oh yeah, unlimited. Yeah, he was breaching that marathon membrane there. It was breaking through. Oh man, no, I don't think Unlimited gonna do that anytime soon though, because he made that shit, made that clear behind the scenes.
Yeah. I told them to keep it short.
Unlimited, did you fix your
I was
PC?
trying. I was so
Yeah,
upset.
yeah,
I
man,
had so
it's
much
good
to say.
now.
I usually do not take that much time, but of course, sometimes people was interjecting, so I had to wait a little bit. But
Yeah.
Well,
I
at
had
least
a lot to
Unlimited,
say.
like you keep it on point with my stuff. Like my one, I don't care. Like we talk about a lot of different stuff. So, yeah, and that's fun to me. Yeah, dude. At least you you have a point. Like so, like for Destin, I'm pretty sure he had a bunch of people on there, and I heard a little bit of the one because I was trying to find his Xbox tax one, to look at it again, and then I saw his live one going on, and he had a couple of people on there, so they're discussing it and stuff like that. Because I mean, I don't know, maybe he's absolutely is that clueless. So hopefully the guys were like, actually, I don't really care if I'm being honest with you. I don't really
You probably see clips.
I
think you're gonna
can't really claim that after leaving IGN he's been smarter. I can't really claim that.
Well, Dale talked about that earlier, right? Dale? He's hanging on that teeth, man. But Dale's like, yeah, Dale was saying like let it go. You know what I'm saying?
He has to. He's trying to. I think Destin was. He's smart. He's not dumb. He saw. I think the journalists know a lot of things that happen behind the scenes.
Yeah, and he's definitely a journalist. That's
Yeah.
facts.
Yeah.
He's definitely a journalist. That's definitely facts.
It's like when you
So-
hear somebody like, yeah, he's definitely a politician. It's along the
Yeah, but I think behind the scenes, I think people be knowing a lot more about like things that Sony does, things that Xbox does that maybe the average person doesn't know, right? Or they can hear about some things that's coming over the horizon, like they try to act like Jez knows everything and stuff. Jez might be winning to some things, but I think they know certain things, and I think that what Destin did, this is just my assumption based on his actions and stuff, is that he kind of saw the winds kind of swaying in a different direction. He saw opportunity to kind of get ahead of it, and that's why I think he made his podcast separate from IGN, so he can as long as he's with IGN, no Xbox person will ever watch him. I think this is even understood by IGN. Nobody from Xbox watches IGN. So he kind of like separated himself from IGN and then basically kind of presented himself as a neutral kind of, he's just there
he
for
tried to act
Neutral. He's an Xbox fanboy.
he did say that. That was.
I believe that. I don't know if I believe that.
Hey, listen, I'm just quoting the man, Reaper. That's all I'm doing.
Yeah.
Don't kill the messenger on this one, T Reaper.
Show me Destin's gamer score and then tell me that. But I don't really believe that. I believe he's more of a PC dude.
Yeah.
PC? He doesn't even come off as PC to me.
Yeah, but
he doesn't.
he's definitely not a Sony dude anymore. I'll tell you that right now.
Okay. Well, I don't know much about him, but he doesn't come off.
He definitely should run for office. That is definitely that's definitely fact. He would do a good job at that. I really think he would.
Yeah, well, I'll say this. I mean, he's done a better job at confusing people on his stance than others. Like Greg Miller, 100% PlayStation fanboy, no matter what he claimed. Same with Colin Moriarty. They'll be the first to claim they're neutral when it suits them. But the moment something like when Greg Miller literally laughed at PC players because Sony released The Last of Us as a terrible port, he wasn't mad at Sony for releasing a bad port. Like, if any other company released a bad PC port, he'd be the first one to be on his podcast. Oh, look at how awful gaming is, right? But when Sony does it, he laughs at the PC gamers for not buying a PlayStation.
Right, right.
So at least Destin knows to keep those moments hidden these days. But I don't care what you say, man. That the infamous thumbnail with him holding a 1080p and 900p with the Xbox and PlayStation 4 told me all I need to know a decade ago. And no amount of claiming you're an Xbox fanboy is going to change my mind when what you say says otherwise.
He said that too, right? He said, I'm an Xbox fanboy, and everybody brought that up. Everybody brought that up.
Funny.
Yeah, you see what Baka wrote.
What did he say?
He says, now I see why my cousin Dustin didn't grab his plate on Thursday.
Yeah. Look, I'll put it to you guys like this, right? We have Thanksgiving every year, right? So we had Thanksgiving this year. So my brother-in-law, one year he watched something or he heard something about cooking a turkey in a brown bag. So he said he was going to do the turkey. So he put the turkey in and put it in. Everybody trusted him. And then but he didn't put the fire. I don't know. He did something. The turkey didn't cook. But they had waited hours, right? And then my dad's like, hey, is this thing finished? And he's like, oh, go check. And the thing was raw. Right?
Oh my God.
So my brother-in-law, this is when he was really young with you, man. This is way back in the 90s, right? But every year, man, since that day, even this Thanksgiving, somebody brought it up, right? Like somebody said like that because we were eating the turkey and my mom made something like that. She did something with the turkey. It was delicious. And then one of my cousins is kind of like, oh yeah, Auntie, this is good. He goes, oh yeah, like, this is way better than you remember the turkey Derek made, right? That's my brother-in-law. And this is like over 20 years ago, right? Right, that he did this. This is when he met my sister. So he's trying to impress my family. And to this day, they still bring it up. So I tell you the story to make this point. Destin, it doesn't matter what you do, what you call yourself, dude. You're always gonna have that need. And that's what people always are gonna remember you for. So you can call yourself an Xbox fanboy all you want to. I see that you do some good stuff on the Xbox side for whatever reason. I don't know. Right. But if you're gonna be Xbox, you gotta be all in, man. You can't play this middle of the road, weak type of thing where some days like this whole Xbox tax video, dude, like he's getting blowback on it. Because when Turboverse, you guys know what Turboverse is?
Yeah, I listened to him. His videos be entertaining to me.
Yeah, so when he did the video, right? So he does the video and then he talks about it, but he also shows everybody's comments.
He does, like through Twitter and stuff. Yeah.
So this is probably why Dustin's doing the marathon today with his podcast, right? Because definitely he got blowback on it.
Well, he's getting blowback all around because, like I told you, that C Money and Doodle was talking about that. That's how I became a little bit aware of. I just thought they was talking about some old stuff until I saw the title of your video, and I said he must have did something recently. I thought this was some old thing or something he said, but no, this has got to be something recent because now this is the second time I've seen somebody bring something up about Destin and the Xbox tax. So that's why this was like.
That's why I wanted to do that petty podcast, because I want to talk about this. Like, you see this happening with Marvel and Disney right now. Not just Marvel, like comic or Marvel Cinematic Universe, but Disney in general.
Yeah.
Like you see people starting to realize it. And what I wanted
Yeah,
to
they're
do,
waking up.
yeah, well, I want to draw that correlation between what's happening with Disney and what's happening with Sony, because they're two peas in a pod right now.
Yep.
But we haven't gotten that far with Sony. But when you
No.
have like the Hogwarts debacle not being nominated,
Yes.
the 4 out of 10 for IGN, right, and the fact that Starfield wasn't nominated, yeah, all these little things start to add up. But like you said, it's affecting people that are not hardcore like us.
Yes.
Those are the people that are waking up. Right?
They made mistake going after Hogwarts and Starfield all in one, because it affected as much as I know there's people on console that love Bethesda. Bethesda is huge on PC, so that
Yes.
got the PC people, because I can tell you now, PC people don't pay attention to half of that. They just don't.
Yeah.
So, but they probably woke up to what was going on with that, because they attacked Starfield so heavily
Yeah.
leading up to that, and then you have that. I think that was one thing, but they're used to Bethesda being at least nominated. Bethesda is like a critically acclaimed company. Their games just get nominated because they're so good and ambitious, and they release only a few. So you're only ever going to have a few of those. So, and then Hogwarts. How many fans of Harry Potter is out there? It's huge. Okay,
It's the
on
best
all
selling game of
platforms.
2023 so far.
Yes.
That's how big it is.
To shun that game with no explanation. They don't have one. They tell you why they didn't do it? See, that's the question people need to be asking. Why did that
Well, they do
game
ask
not
them,
get
they don't
nominated?
answer. They
That's
get
the
asked all
point,
the
'cause
time. Nobody answers. They're too cowardly. They're either too cowardly or they see themselves above the common gamer to answer it.
Yep.
Oh no, they're scared because we know
They're
the reason.
scared of hardware. But see, by doing that twice, because you got the Xbox gamers screaming about Starfield and how hard they went after Starfield, when you got a broken Spider-Man game up there nominated for Game of the Year, and then you got Hogwarts, a better game than say Spider-Man, and it doesn't even get recognized at all. I mean, they bit off more than they can chew, and this one is just not going away. And just like T said, they're making a second game. The creator is going to stay the same. She's going to have her views. And what are they going to do now? Are they going to shun that one too? Are they going to make the situation worse? It's not going to get any better for them.
Yeah, and and the thing about that Game Awards stuff, apparently they got a 120. I don't know, 120. What's that word I'm looking for? Where they all contribute to it.
Oh, the
reviewers or something?
Yeah.
No, not reviewers, but 120 people who are in their committee. That's the word I'm looking for. In their committee.
Oh, okay.
Right. And apparently of those 120, none of them play on Xbox, because there's no way in hell these games get ignored like
they
that.
don't. Most of them don't.
I mean,
they got any.
I swear, Phil Spencer must be a lone man on an island in that committee. He must just go there just to see his friends or something, and then knows what's up, because that's the and then I did a little digging, so I checked out review scores, and I noticed the same thing with review scores for multi-plat games: 100 PlayStation, 20 Xbox.
Yes. Thank you. That's why I was trying. To
say so the console's just not represented in general like
at
that.
all. Yeah, at all.
Oh yeah, that's not surprising.
Yeah. I'll say. I mean, but it was definitely different in the 360 era, where it was either more even or slightly more Xbox reviews than PS3 reviews. But the level of one-sidedness now is wild. It's like they actively ignore Xbox as much as they can.
Well, the 360 was that catalyst for this. That's why the Xbox One got that hate out the jump, right out the gate, man. They got that. They weren't going to let that happen again, because the 360, the way the 360 dominated, especially when it comes to like the mind share and the money and stuff like that. So these guys will not let that happen. This is the thing that gets me about them. This is why I don't like people like Destin, or not personally, but I don't listen to him as a gaming aficionado, because I listen to that and I'm like, you guys don't even notice your own bias. Like for me, for example, right? Whatever I do when it comes to gaming now, I always have in the back of my mind my age and the type of gamer I am. Right, I have to do that too, because I have 2 kids that game. Like my son, all he does now is play Fortnite. That's it. All right, so I've lost him. We used to play games together, but that's what he does, and that's fine. My daughter, on the other hand, she does her own thing, and she has her own way of doing stuff. right? So I'm cognizant of that because they play games differently than I do.
Right. One thing that I do find interesting about younger people is their ability to just play one or two games. Because when I was a kid, I played a solid variety of games. Now, as a kid, you can't buy as many games as you can as an adult. But I remember enjoying games like Def Jam Vendetta and Def Jam Fight for New York on the original Xbox. GTA, I would enjoy that. I enjoy the just the variety of games during that time. Oh yeah, like games like Jade Empire. So whatever little games I could afford, I remember playing a variety of them.
Well, I can tell you this as a parent. Okay, the reason why too, because I see my kids do this all the time. When I was younger, I used to love to go to the movies, but you couldn't afford it. So if somebody told me, like my auntie was like, well, she told me like, oh, auntie wants to go watch this movie, and it was a bad movie. I shouldn't have gone and watched it, and it was a scary movie, which I don't like. But I knew I was gonna get popcorn, hot dog, and some snow caps, which I never get to eat. Right. So I went. Right. Well, I tell my kids now, I was like, hey, you guys want to go watch a movie with Dad? I'll pay for the movie. I'll go buy whatever you want. They're like, well, Dad, I'm not feeling it, right? Like that. And I just sit there and look at them, right? So because look, they have so much stuff that they can do. And I don't want to use the spoil word. I don't want to overuse that. But they have way more stuff than we ever did. So it's easier for them to get their time occupied. This is the problem I have with a lot of these reviewers. Right? Because if you look at them, the games that they love and they give tens to are games that you can beat so fast, and then they can continue on in the rest of whatever they do.
Yeah.
For guys like us that like the game and we like variety, we're in trouble, right? Because we're living in a time where there's something for everybody, and that's everything. Like I talked about earlier in the video, right? With Game Pass, there's so many games I don't want to play, but I don't have the time. You see what I'm saying? But if you don't, this is why they like what's that Horizon game? Horizon Zero Dawn?
Zero Entertainment.
Yeah. That's probably why they like a game like that, because they can knock that one out, right, and get their bona fides and feel good about themselves because they're supporting some kind of narrative that the game promotes, right? And then you're like, okay, now I can do that, and then I can go play on my iPhone or go watch this or go do that. That's what it boils down to. These guys are not. I've been saying this for a while, I'll say it here, and I get a lot of hate for it, but I'm just being honest. These guys are not gamers, and I don't care if you have a badge that says you work in journalism, a gaming journalist, and all this kind of stuff, dude. For me, the level of what a gamer is a person that number one plays games, and number two likes the industry, or not just the industry, but like they know the industry, but they love gaming.
They love the art of gaming. Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah. Hey, I'm about to clock out, man.
Yeah, no worries, man. I gotta go too because I gotta take my son to his stuff. So.
Yeah. Okay.
Oh yeah, sorry, dude. No, don't worry. We'll do another. Maybe I'll do another one later, and we'll go 10 hours.
That's short.
Yeah.
What is that?
Trying to break Guinness Book of World Record for longest podcast.
That thing is ongoing. It's not.
Yeah.
I gotta do that 15-hour one because that one podcast that Unlimited did, man. I felt like he was trying to challenge.
I know, yeah.
Nah, the show was so good. I just couldn't end it early, man. Because everybody was going off.
Yeah,
everybody
has something to say.
E-Rock, Heatbot, man, everybody was going off that show.
Yeah, Heatbot was. Oof. I've never seen Heatbot like that. I was like, whoa.
Yeah.
He was
like checking Keely like crazy. I was like, wow.
Well, then you got E-Rock. That's why he should bring back his channel already.
Yeah, I agree.
He put in all that work.
Promote that. I'm retired. Like, get out of your retirement. Stop saying that. Get out of there. Spank his hiney. Get that thing up and running.
Yeah.
Well, Sega Man did a good thing, and we might have to do that with him. We have to bring his channel back. We can each do like one-on-ones with him. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So
that would be good.
Yeah, so he can put his stuff out there. But yeah, I would like to. I would love for him to come back. Yep. And enjoy the fruits of his labor, man.
Yeah.
Work. So
he could also do a recorded one where he's mainly talking about subjects that he can't do live ones all the time. I don't know what he can or can't do, but
Yeah.
But there's ways to work around it. That's what I'm trying to say.
Yeah, it's funny because I hear him. I'm like, dude, come on, man. He's not only in gaming, man, and the MCU, baby, you was waiting for this because he was talking about that for the longest time.
Oh man,
MCU
that Unlimited video had a lot of responses on it though in the comment section
about the MCU.
No, about the one that we all did talking about the awards and stuff.
Yeah,
had a big response. Like I was surprised. I went back to I was trying to go back to remember something. I wanted to hear something. And I was like, wow, that many people responded to Unlimited's video. Like, wow, it was a lot of people that responded to that one.
People who are passionate about that topic, cause even if you don't care about the awards, the Xbox fan in you just have to tell you something ain't right, especially in a year like this. This year was just too good for Xbox to get literally nothing out of it in terms of that type of recognition. And so even for people who don't care about it, you still got to call it out because you just look at it and think, no, that don't make any sense. Not one game, not I think Starfield literally got one nomination
Just
for any
one.
category.
Yeah, and they're going to lose that one. But
Yeah, there's a chance. There's a chance games like Forza got nothing.
yeah, I don't know what they got. Maybe racing car or something. I don't know what they got.
Yeah, I don't
That's
know all the nominations either because I don't follow it like that. But it's just the point, Daya, that it was a passionate topic for a reason because it's one thing to get it's one thing to be anti Xbox. It's another to be that blatant in a year where Sony. Let's put it this way: Sony had a horrible year, and somehow their one game gets praised.
Yeah.
By the way, what's his name? Jeff Keighley makes sure that the time limit for nomination. By the way, this is how unorganized the Game Awards are. The nominations are supposed to be at least until November 15th, but they released the nominations before November 15th. So if a game came out even before then, it's still you see how stupid it all is, and why I just can't take it seriously, Daya.
Yeah, agreed.
Yeah, Destin said something like that in his video that he did the other day. He's like, "Oh, if it was nominated, he said something like if Starfield would have came out when it did, it could have got nominated."
It came out in September.
And then he says, but then Elden Ring would have still won anyway. See, it's that crap like that he says.
Yeah.
See, you don't understand because it's not just about Starfield. It's about the whole. It's years back for me.
It's that Hi-Fi Rush didn't. It's that Forza didn't. They were never going to give Redfall anything. The Redfall is an Xbox community game, and by that I mean I put that under the case of like State of Decay 2 and Crackdown 3, and that the Xbox community love it. But then everybody else outside of the Xbox community loves to tell you how bad it is. And,
right. Yeah. Even though they may have fixed all the issues that people had with it, it's still a bad game. How do you know that you haven't been back in there? That's
listen, Daya, I went through this 5 years ago with State of Decay 2. When I kid you not, Daya, I was posting gameplay clips on Twitter, and people were responding, "Oh, you playing that trash game? That game got a 69 Metacritic. How can you play that?" And I'm just like, man, this game is so great. And that's when I knew I don't argue with PlayStation fans. Because, but it's just the fact that Redfall is one of them games they don't let you enjoy it for some reason. I don't know why.
Right.
So I don't let them enjoy Spider-Man. Hell, you go ahead and swing as a cube.
That sugar cube thing.
Or a head with no body. People ain't mentioning all of that stuff. Yeah. All the crazy stuff we saw in that game. Like that game was broken.
I seen people trying to mention it, but these dudes was coming up, media and all, coming up behind him trying to cover up.
Here's a funny one I saw the media do, especially when that cube glitch came out. They try to claim it as a funny glitch. Yeah. If any other game did that, it'll be
egg. Yeah, there's some people like it's an Easter egg, man.
Yeah,
I was like, dude, I've read Spider-Man comics. There was a time in my life where I was collecting 5 titles, all at the same time. Right, Peter Parker, Spectacular Spider-Man, Web of Spider-Man, Amazing Spider-Man, Spider-Man. Right, and then they have this off one that I can't remember right now. But that's how
Marvel Team Up or something.
Yeah, Marvel Team Up or something. And you know what? He never was a sugar cube. So I when I saw that, I was like, dude, I know you guys, because some of these dudes purport themselves, like they go a step too far. Right, they talk about being a Spider-Man fan. Okay, in the gaming thing, then you try and cross over to comic books. Right, and then I'm like, no, dude, now you're stretching. Right, it's just admit that they had a bad launch. Right, they have some bugs that needs to be fixed. Right, and just deal with it, man. But you guys can't help yourself because you guys are Sony ponies. You guys have to defend your console of choice. I'm glad to see it.
Hey, Sega.
What's up?
Do you have Minecraft?
Yes.
I would love to show you my world, actually.
Oh yeah, dude. Yeah. This well, maybe later on.
You need
Yeah,
to
okay.
make a video and upload that, something like that.
I agree with
Yeah,
that.
I have a beautiful world on Minecraft that I would like to show all of you. Actually,
Ooh, actually, I wouldn't mind seeing that.
Oh, look at Vodka. I'm sorry, I gotta call Vodka. Cosmic Cube Spider-Man.
Cosmic Cube
Yeah.
Spider-Man.
Now, Vodka, I know you heard me rant about Cosmic Spider-Man. That is like one of the that's one of the most irritating.
I wouldn't be surprised if Spider-Man won.
If that wins, I'm telling you, I think the internet will melt down. If it beats
I hope it
Baldur's
wins.
Gate 3, I
No,
will laugh my butt off.
I'm petitioning.
Baldur's Gate 3 secured Game of the Year back in August.
It did, yeah.
I've been telling you guys. I've been telling you guys that since August.
You did.
Just accept it. Nothing else beating it this year.
Yep.
So what they're gonna do is give Spider-Man all the consolation awards, like best graphics and best story. Because somehow the best game of the year don't have the best story, even though it's an RPG. I don't know how that shit works.
Yeah, RPG is all about story. That's the whole point of an RPG.
Yeah, so sorry guys, real quick, I gotta address this. So Vodka, man, I hated that thing, dude. This is the, you know why I didn't like this storyline? This was a dude who liked Spider-Man so much. It's like the PlayStation guys with the Spider-Man game, right? They love it so much, right? So Spider-Man, dude, he had the power cosmic. If you guys don't know what that is, man. So he's basically ultimate power in the Marvel universe, in the comic book universe. Dude, he choked out Thor. Thor. I forgot what he did to the Hulk. Vodka. Didn't he like drop him from space or some crap like that? But like Thor, so like he saw Thor and then he told Thor, "Is like, oh, these guys are like there was a drought." So he said something like he told Thor like, "Oh, make it rain," and Thor was like trying to explain to him, "No, that's not how we do it. You know, you don't want to get involved." And then so Spider-Man got mad and started choking him out. So so I hate that series. Vodka. It was they did cool stuff, but I didn't like that stuff. But I was just sitting there going, it's just like somebody.
That sounds like the DC version of what they do with Batman sometimes, where somehow he could outsmart every single person on the Justice League.
Yeah.
Oh, I hate that too.
I hated that. Yeah, I did.
I was like, this is so damn stupid. Batman. Yeah, some writers see DC has a Batman issue sometimes. Sega Forever, where they treat him like a god, right? And somehow he could prepare to tackle everything. I'm just like, all Superman got to do is stay in space and use his heat ray.
That's it. Thank you.
Yeah, Batman. There's nothing Batman could do if Superman did that. But for some reason, and what's worse, and I hate modern Joker now in DC because somehow he could defeat every single person except for Batman, and that's even worse.
Yeah.
I'm like, how is this stupid ass clown who's the only thing he does is murder somehow be outsmarting Superman and Wonder Woman and shit? Like, there's this one comic story in the Batman comics where he somehow mind controlled the whole Justice League. And Batman soloed them. I almost couldn't even finish reading that stupid shit. I was like, this is so stupid. Why even have a Justice League if Batman could just defeat them easily?
Yeah.
Well, the thing with the Cosmic Spider-Man, I could tell really right away that the person was a fan because the way Spider-Man wins battles, right, is he uses the insults or he does stuff to find a way around it. But if you give him the ultimate power, like nobody's a problem anymore, especially in his own rogue gallery, right?
Yeah.
So which Spider-Man actually has some pretty good characters and stuff like that. But when I remember reading that, dude, and I was so mad. I was like, dude, he just basically wanted him to go and just beat up people, you know? And then to me, that was kind of harsh because that's kind of what endeared you to Peter Parker, is he was picked on, right? It's like the whole thing, like when you watch the Captain America, like I just watched it, the first Avenger, right? Is what made him a good man, and what they did a good job in that movie was showing that he was a good person.
Yeah.
So when he gets so when he takes the super serum, right, it doesn't change him in that way. Right. And they actually gave it thought. So I'm sorry, but yeah, Vodka, that's not one of my favorite. Me and my friend used to argue about that all the time, but he was a Spider-Man because I was an X-Men fan, and so we used to argue about I used to tell him like, oh, X-Men's getting more popular than Spider-Man, just the rhythm, get all pissed off.
Well, I mean, the X-Men were mega popular for a while.
It took them a little bit.
Yeah, if you thought Spider-Man had a lot of books, there was a time X-Men had like 5 books and 10 spinoffs, like Excalibur and all that stuff.
Yeah,
I'm like, geez, Wolverine. There's a time Wolverine was on every team in Marvel. He somehow be with the X-Men one day, then the Avengers, then the Secret Avengers, then teaming up with Spider-Man. So
that's typical Marvel, man. They'll ride that horse. Because like I was telling my son, right? Because my son was Deadpool became popular, so my son was a big Deadpool fan, right? So we went to go. We actually, what's his name, came down here. The guy who created it. I can't think of his name right now. He actually did a con, and then
the guy who created Deadpool, Rob Liefeld.
Yeah, thank you, Mr. 501 Jeans himself. So he came over there. It was a great talk and stuff like that. And then my son was like, "Dad, wasn't that great?" I was like, "Yeah, it was." And then, so he was talking to me. I was like, And I just told him the truth. And I was like, well, you know, Alex, when Daddy was growing up, Deadpool was not popular, right? In fact, when Rob Liefeld did his Strike Force team, right? What the person that was popular, X Force, the person at that time who was popular was this guy called Shatterstar. And he's like, who's that guy? I'm like, yeah, exactly. Right. He's like, but back when I was growing up, man, Shatterstar was the one because Longshot was the more popular character, and that's his dad, right? And so he was huge. And it's funny, like in a Deadpool movie, they made fun of that. But anyway, but yeah, guys, let's wrap it up. I gotta go. I gotta take my kid to.
Yeah. That's when Deadpool was just a Deathstroke the Terminator ripoff, though. Let's be real. Marvel fans got to be honest about that one. He was just a Deathstroke ripoff.
The only thing that saved Deadpool was that they did the fourth wall thing.
Yep.
Yeah, that was different.
I mean, Wade Wilson, Slade Wilson. I mean, my goodness, how they didn't get sued for that one was beyond me.
Oh, dude, they do that all, like Namor and Aquaman. This is the Aquaman movie.
Yeah, you're right.
I love the Jason Momoa Aquaman movies because it's basically Namor.
It is, yeah. That's why Marvel had to go so different with theirs because
Kevin Feige. That's why we sucking right now. Because Kevin Feige used to be fine. Anyway, we're gonna go down that rabbit hole, but I gotta really go. So yeah, everybody shout yourselves out, man, and then
yeah. It's your boy Unlimited Production. You can find me with the Unlimited Truth whenever the truth is needed.
I'm Dia4568. You can usually find me with our group Unlimited, Sega Man, Sega Forever's channel. Occasionally, very rarely though Hebot, because I don't usually know when he posts. But I'll usually sometimes be on their podcast. Most of the time, Unlimited, and you can usually find me in the chat. And that's where you can find me.
Oh, go ahead, T.
I'm T Reaper. You can find me on Instagram at Odo T Reaper 8989, and I am also on YouTube at just T Reaper, and I am also on Xbox Live at Odo T Reaper, and I am having lots of fun with Halo and COD right now. So anybody wants to play, I'll be willing to play with you.
Yeah, I want to join you on that. And of course, I'm Sega Forever. Shout out the chat real quick. Vodka put Rob. Everyone looks like Cable. Dude, when they went to when they went to McFarland and what was that Image, dude. That's when the facade fell out, man, and everybody was like, yeah, dude, it's his colorist, it's his inker. All the people that he was drawing over at Image looked like Mark. Dude, one dude looked like Wolverine.
Yeah.
Dude, you want to talk about that was one of those moments in comic books for me that really crushed me. Because I was all on board with those guys. Yeah, man, fuck the man, Marvel show. Yeah. And then when you go to Image and then they're like, okay, when's my fifth comic coming? It was supposed to come out like 6 months ago.
Yeah, for every Savage Dragon and Spawn, they had a lot of just Marvel ripoffs.
Oh yeah, dude, it was horrible. Like very, very. That was the opening, my eye opener for me. But dude, Sega Forever. You can catch me here, Xbox All In channel. You can follow me on social media, but you'll probably unfollow me because of the stuff I post. But that's just the way I am. So I appreciate. Yeah, Shatterstar. Thanks, Gogo. I just wanted to shout out the chat, man. Lydian, man. Sorry, I just saw you here. I just saw Lydian. Where did I leave you? Yeah, for all of you guys in the chat, Vodka, Gogo, Lydian, welcome, my brother. Yeah, we do this podcast usually on weekends. I'm sorry I haven't been as consistent. Tool Man was here. Thank you. Anthony Chipmunk, of course. Other Zinc was in here. Dude, I got to hook up with other Zinc, man. We need
Zinc is getting lazy. We got to get on him.
Yeah, I felt bad, though. That one time he popped in and he was actually working. So
yeah, he was.
Yeah, he was working. I was like, oh, sorry.
Yeah.
Deploy even stopped in. Thanks, Deploy. Shinzo Elite, of course, man. Love your commentary, brother. Need to get you on the show. Hopefully I didn't miss anybody for all of you guys there, but I do have to bounce. Fireboss was in here. Fireboss, man, I'm sorry. We'll do the podcast, dude. I'll get it back on probably next week. And and that's everybody, man. So so thank you guys for being here. Xbox All In channel, host Sega Forever. We out.
Bye.